Okay, so that means I'm actually live now. So we have session number 23 for this one, I think. No, 20.
Yep.
Session number 20.
Okay.
Players swapping around. So that's why we only have two wonderful players here today. So we have
Yes.
Paul, who's playing.
Fluel Damer.
Names up on the thing, so if you can't read
Yes.
it.
Yes. And yes, that double L is rolled as it should be. A celestial warlock of a non-dark patron.
And then we have Jeremy, who's playing.
Palladia, a
I might get the spelling right one of these days.
likely a local, well, somewhat local to this area, tribesman from the Atruaghin clan, Atruaghin tribes, member of the Deer tribe from the Elk clan, originally sent out on the mission to look after some of the youngsters of the clan. However, currently things haven't gone so well for him because the two youngsters have just been
Dusty.
met unfortunate fate.
Yes. That's a point, by the way. An elf warlock. Not one of the tribesmen.
So this is the module they're actually doing from here.
Yeah.
But it's been adapted to make it fit in the Atruaghin clans, and they were sent here to rid the temple of a great evil.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that might have been party members.
I don't think any of us were actually evil.
Not really.
Except, well, even the one holding the evil axe.
But it was amusing how many times things did happen that didn't turn out the way you expected it to.
Well, yeah.
Not even the way I expected it to. But hey, that's the nature of role-playing. If everything is as you expect, you may as well be reading a novel.
Yes, or writing it.
Yeah, that too. I'm not that good at writing.
No. Well, actually, you're more likely to have things go the way you expect reading it than writing it. I've heard about people having their characters go off and do their own thing.
Well, every time I try to write, it sort of gets messy as the character goes off and does what the character's doing. It's like, but I want you to go this way, and the
That's
character
exactly
goes off and
my
does
point.
that.
Yeah. Happens to a lot of writers, and they've got to work out how to handle that.
Yeah. So the last session, you were fighting a mummified centaur.
Yes. Which is how we ended up with two people, unfortunately meeting their demise because they got mummy rot.
Yup. And then they died in the mummy rot.
Yes. Mummy rot and a slight lack of survival.
Yes. And you are in... Just making sure I got the room right. You're in a room called the Sacred Titaza Altan.
Right.
So one of their sacred chambers.
Yep.
Which you then desecrated.
Well...
Which then led to the mummy attacking. Which then led to you destroying the mummy.
Yes. Because it needed to be.
And the mummy did drop some items.
Did we note them? I can't remember. I'll have a look
Okay.
at the bottom of my character sheet because I normally write them down.
Well, we sort of finished the session with everyone being dusted because it
That's right,
was
yes.
over a month ago.
Yes, I don't know that we actually got to deal with much with the beyond the. Oh, he didn't survive.
Yes.
Oh, and she also
And this is-
died moments later.
Yes. And this is, yes, actually that's true. We didn't actually look at the gear or the loot drop.
Now, better deer will aim to first of all gather up the dusted remains
Yes.
of the his
Yes.
tribesfolk.
If you do the correct thing by your
Well,
tribes.
I'm not certain that the correct
Tribes
burial
folks.
acts are going to be available, but he'll do what he can.
And
Yes.
all their gear was still there, so none of their items turned to dust, just them.
Okay.
Right, which, so we will,
Gather up the appropriate items that can, the
Yes.
pieces that can then be returned to family and things like that.
Yep.
So,
and
or possibly
or used to
used
keep
by
us
other people.
alive. Yes. But
Okay, so you see a tribal headrest that resembles the head priests of Atruaghin,
Yep.
which the centaur was wearing.
That's in the picture because it shows him with feathers on.
Yes, has him with feathers on.
So,
And he also has jewelry reminiscent of the horse tribe.
Yep.
So reminiscent in worked in metal,
Okay.
where the horse tribe doesn't use metal. None of the tribesmen use metal in their tools, equipment, or working.
Yeah, but then all of their culture has changed over time.
Yes.
Uh,
Historically, the Lowell does know that their ancestors used metal,
yep.
but when Atruaghin united the clans, they had stepped away from mining and
Yeah.
that
Well,
sort of.
That's it's not tribes folk stuff, and
Even the
they-
Tiger
and-
tribe doesn't use it.
yeah, and they didn't import anything. Yeah, it's a cultural change based on lack of availability.
It also helps strengthen them and lessen their dependence on other cultures.
Yes, because they don't need to buy anything from anyone else.
They make everything and produce everything they need to sustain their own culture.
Yeah.
So they could close their borders and survive, whereas nearly every other country around them, were they to close their borders, would end up imploding.
Yes. Except possibly the halflings.
No, the halflings would go as well because while they make food,
That's a point. Yes.
they
The
don't.
gnomes could probably do it.
Depends on which one.
Yes, some of the dwarves could do it if they switched over entirely to mushrooms for food.
The dwarves design themselves. The mountain dwarves have designed themselves to be able to be closed in. The hill dwarves have not.
Yeah,
And getting them to the right point is the hard part.
yeah. That's the thing. And all of the other ones would involve some sort of cultural change. The Atruaghin, not so much.
Yep, they're pretty much like the mountain dwarves in
Yeah.
they're ready to be cut off because connecting with other cultures is a strain for them.
Well, of course,
Yes.
having effectively lived their entire existence of living memory and beyond on top of a plateau,
That
there's
doesn't-
not necessarily a lot of communication immediately with other cultures
Yes.
as a general rule.
Yes,
So,
with only one line of communication to the outside. Plus, on top of a plateau, usually is going to mean really not a lot of natural resources
No, exactly.
apart from trees,
yes.
which is exactly what they've done. They use wood and they use leather and they use some stone, and that's it.
So the headdress,
Yep.
Still valid.
is it something that Paladin would think is valuable to remove from, or worthwhile removing from the temple, or should it be left in the temple?
Well, you wouldn't leave it here. It was obviously used by one of the sacred temple guardsmen.
Okay, so it wasn't necessarily a shaman's ceremony.
It was a
given-
shaman ceremonial.
Yeah, given what's going on though, this is from an outsider's point of view, but it's something that I would put as an offering to Atruaghin once we get out of here.
Well, that's what I mean. It's just like the idea,
Yeah.
because this is technically the temple to the previous of the Atruaghin, some of those items and artifacts, okay, it may be appropriate to deliberately leave them. Others
Yes.
maybe, hang on, no,
Yeah.
these should be brought to the light and
Yes.
the clans
And-
can take advantage of this.
yes,
item.
and
Yes,
this-
okay, with this,
yeah.
with this headdress, is something along those lines.
It is along those lines.
Okay.
Yes,
well,
and
definitely.
and I'm
Paladin
definitely
will look after the headdress then.
yes, and I'm definitely looking for things what are magical.
Okay, just trying to make sure I don't have my computer fall asleep on me again.
Yeah.
So I'm having my
Yeah.
computer decide it wants to go into sleep mode while I'm doing things.
Yeah. Yes. Anything from the mummy, however, I would be really wary of. Although it's the active touch of the mummy that gives you mummy rot from memory. But I'm not sure enough, so I think possibly old leather sacks for putting stuff in.
Okay. Well, the mummy itself has also disappeared. And I also say its spear was also left behind.
Okay.
Because if you look at the nice picture, it does have a very nice spear that matches everything.
Yeah. Actually, can I have a look?
I will pass
Because
it
if
to
we're
you.
going to take this amount of stuff from the image, which is entirely valid.
Technically,
So-
it's not actually in the encounter, but it should have been.
No, well, that's a mean-looking spear, and yes, that's a metal head. Actually, not just the headdress, the regalia. So headdress, armlets,
Yeah.
and the
That was what I was
belts.
referring to as the other things.
Yeah, so I'll note that as well. I'm guessing the spear is probably magical, but it's an explicitly Atruaghin styled.
It is, and
It might be something that you could see yourself using, even though it's got a metal head on it.
Was it Swift Elk and Bolt of the Elk, isn't it?
Yep.
The
and because I've been getting some of the gods sorted out, it'd be a lot easier to actually point you towards some of them.
Yep.
When I actually get you the player's guide when that I'm in the middle of updating,
Yep.
you'll have access to all the god names.
Cool. Very useful.
So I think we're getting close to 400 names,
Mm-hmm.
but then there are 166 gods, so
Yeah.
it's not a small list, and each name represents one of the pantheons they belong to. So if they belong to more than one pantheon, they have two names.
Yeah.
It's been designed like that on purpose. Okay, so
Yeah. Like my patron is, I think he's part of 5 pantheons under different names.
okay, where is that name from?
Of course, this starts getting to, if you're in Glorantha, this would be Godlearner territory. And Godlearners are bad things. It's one of the things I really like about Glorantha. It's set up to explicitly discourage comparative theology. Because if you start equating one god with another usefully, as in getting them so that it actually does look like they do match each other, they notice.
Okay, so
Parts of the universe can collapse.
this one has a symbol of a cubic labyrinth on there.
On the regalia, you mean?
On the spear.
On the spear?
hmm Give me a religion roll. Sorry, to
Or
to pick it up.
history in my case. I'm presuming?
That would help.
Yes.
Now having a history of about 90 odd of the 166 gods laid out for me to look up
Yeah.
makes it a lot easier to say what a player will know.
Yes. 15.
15. Okay, you do recognize it as a symbol of Mazakeen, one of the gods of energy or fire, as the case may be. He is not an Atruaghin god.
However,
He is an Azcan god. They're predating civilization. Which most of this temple was predating the civilization.
So it wasn't necessarily the temple was not the Clown temple. It was before the Clown time, and as such,
Yes.
some of the Clown gods certainly took it as a holy place that they then.
Yes.
Well, you do know that Atruaghin was an Azcan.
Mm.
He was
Yes.
one of these people.
Yeah.
So
Which puts them a long time ago, because what is it? He's the end result of what, 4 cultures?
yeah,
Yeah.
the only survivor of four cultures.
Yes.
And with that role, you do know that he is known by the dwarves, the Irendi, the Nithians, the Northern Reaches, and Thiatans. He's known by quite a few people.
Okay, that gets a bit interesting. Now, having a look, I'm going to guess the spear is magical. I'm also going to guess that the regalia is magical.
It is.
Because having the regalia and the spear being worn by the same person is a bit unusual. Because he's either Azcan and picked up the regalia from somebody else 1,000 years later, or he's a Atruaghin using an ancient spear.
No, just
Well,
lozenges.
I would have thought it
I
was
got
more
myself a
likely that
drink.
he's
Although
one of the previous temple guards sent to
Any
Yes.
brand
look
will
after the
work.
place.
yes, well that's
But-
actually no. There's the thing, because he could have both got
Don't
both
care.
regalia and spear at the same time. If he was one of the
The-
last of the Azcan on the surface.
The regalia more suits the horse tribe than it does the Azcan culture.
Yeah.
But
okay.
then they're
So they are actually of 2 quite different cultures. Horse
the
clan and
the
Azcan.
horse clan is like an evolution of the
That's right. I would have said it was potentially the idea of the regalia was reminiscent of the horse clan.
yeah.
Part of that regalia was this ancient ceremonial weapon that had been passed down through the clans since time immemorial, which
And-
happened to have been Azcan.
And it's still fully useful partly because it's magical.
So,
I'm presuming.
And
then they say
the-
this,
Well, actually, given
this
the age of it,
representative of the horse clan
yeah,
was left in the temple
yes,
to help defend it.
yeah, and given the
Although-
age of it, if this is not magical, I'd be very surprised.
Although, whether his undead form is a representation of the fact he was the corruption within the temple, or whether it was part of the being left behind as a guard.
Yeah.
Though you do think he does look more like a guardsman than a corrupted.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
okay,
Something designed to protect.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I would say he was definitely left behind as a guardsman,
Yes,
as you say.
and
Whether the undead status and moneyhood was brought on him as part of his
Or a
being
root-
left to guard, or whether it was part of a subsequent blessing of the gods to allow him to guard for longer,
or
whether in fact
someone
it was
attacking.
the,
Yeah.
the corruption upon this particular temple.
Yes, although
Yeah.
if the corruption on the temple is what did it, it happened a long time ago. And I'm sort of getting the impression it's a bit less than that. Oh, there might be. We'll see. But yes, there's a couple of different ways it can happen.
Was there anything else left behind in the room itself?
Not in the room itself.
No.
Okay.
Now, we're coming up to this room, having come up through a bit of a narrow passageway. We came up through the effectively the dried bathtub or type thing.
You
and
did.
then we were heading up a short staircase to through a doorway from which he was guarding the room beyond.
Yes, that was correct.
But I'm not picture. I don't know that I got a picture of the room beyond in
No.
my head as to where we're going on to from here.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try to tell other things not to make noises. Because apparently he wanted to tell me all about things on Yeah.
Something that thought interesting but isn't.
Yeah, supposedly when I've got something on full screen, which this should be at full screen,
It is.
nothing else is supposed to come and bring up a notification.
But notifications are coming up anyway.
Yeah, it just came
Well,
up
the
with a
sound
beep
of it,
beep.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have to figure out what changed in the last update.
Mm.
You know, you try to get all these things set up, and the whole stating of if you don't update, you get punished because you're now vulnerable. It's
Yes.
very much so case if you do update, you're also punished because your settings are now all changed or no longer work. Okay, so you do have a stairway up that it came down and attacked people on,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is where it took out the siblings.
Yes. Yes, because we were fighting up the stairs.
Well, so we basically,
yeah.
yes, we were either open the door or it opened the door when it heard us on the other side type stuff, and charged down the stairs.
And there are 3 wells where you are. One of them is the one you came out of. One of them had the water weed in it.
Yep.
And the other one had a crayfish that looked like it'd seen better days.
Yes.
And better lifetimes.
Yeah.
But it was also dry. It was also a dry basin, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was in a
was
dry
basically-
basin.
It was a dry basin with a dried husk of the crayfish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, an ex-crayfish.
And we had actually
We
effectively searched. Let's say there was only the
We had
potential out of
searched
the
them.
pond that you could potentially search in, but I don't think we.
But
wanted
no
to
one
touch the
had
water.
looked in the one of the crayfish. You'd only gone into one of the water where you destroyed all the water.
But the one in the crayfish, let's say
The
there's seemingly
crayfish-
nothing
we-
in the pond
no,
with the crayfish except for.
we
like,
haven't looked.
No one
That's
looked.
the thing. We've seen the crayfish, but then we fought the water weird. We haven't looked in that pond.
Yeah, but
We haven't done some things like turn the crayfish over.
oh no, that's right. But I'm saying the fact that like it.
Yeah.
From looking in the
So-
look, apparently
Just a
looking,
look. We
that's
haven't
right,
seen anything.
Apparently looking, it's,
But having a search of it might be worthwhile.
If that's the crayfish in the pond,
Yes.
it's what it looks like at the present time.
That's
There's
right.
nothing in the pond to actually apparently hide anything,
Exactly.
except for the crayfish itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although you want this one because it's brown.
Okay, so do you want to do anything with the crayfish?
Tip it over.
Okay, you roll it over. Underneath it is a platinum key.
Okay. So,
That was worthwhile. Even if nothing else is down here.
the,
I watched the crayfish for a couple of moments to make sure it doesn't jump at.
It's just a
It's just a shell.
shell.
It's a crayfish. Yeah, I know. But it could still be. Someone could still zombify it.
That's an idea.
does the,
Nope, not zombified.
Oh, good.
does the key appear to fit any locks or any things that we've seen so far?
Nothing.
My guess it would be a door at the top of those stairs.
Well, we've already opened the door at the top of the stairs, so. But as I say, I did look at the top of the stairs, those door at the top of the stairs.
That's a
Yeah.
point. This
Yeah.
key, I'll pick it up.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it's made out of platinum.
Yeah.
Feels
Oh,
like it's
it's
made out of
You
platinum.
bloody heavy. Is it a? Does it look like a chest key or a door key?
Looks like a door key.
Okay.
And as you're feeling on it, you can feel that there are runes along the key that you can't see. You can feel them, but you can't see them.
Yeah, sort of trace them, see what I get.
Tracing them, give me a insight roll.
I get some of my soap and rub it on there to highlight the runes on the surface.
Doesn't leave a mark.
Okay.
But your fingers feel them.
Okay. What's my insight? It's hiding up here somewhere.
It is a wisdom skill.
Yes, and it's what I'm trained in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm reasonably good like that. I get to a whole 12. Isn't that exciting?
Okay, you do recognize them as runes, but they are probably something that you will be able to see under magic. Old style runes generally have some sort of tell, but they don't always have a way of identifying them.
Yeah. Because it's either under magical light
Or another form
or
of
moonlight, which is something it does come up with some things.
magic will detect its presence,
Yeah.
or whatever other thing it's meant to do.
Okay, I'm going to use my magical side and have
Mhm.
a close look at it.
Okay.
And look at edge on and whatever else, but I'm looking at it magically as well. or magically at this
So
point.
you see a few things when you have a close look.
My eyeballs implode. No.
Yeah, well, you said you see a few things, and then nothing more. Ever.
I've tried to have my eyes regrown twice.
Okay, it has a symbol of multiple gods along the length of the key. And the gods that it does have are the Atruaghin gods.
Okay.
Far more than you knew were actually in the pantheon.
I will take notes.
The pantheon from legend that is passed outside of the tribes only has 5 gods.
Okay.
1 for each of the tribes and 1 father god.
But this is this
One for each of the
a
clans.
different set of ones, or is it?
1 for each of the tribes, I'm sorry, tribes.
Yeah, because each tribe has multiple clans, but each tribe only has 1 god.
Oh, sorry, yes.
So you've got the
Yeah,
bear
that's
tribe.
what I- that's what I
the other
meant, yes.
way, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got bear and coyote are part of the bear tribe,
Yeah.
and they've only got the 1
Yeah,
god
that's
between them.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, this is lots of other ones. Do I know anything about their names or anything else to do with them, or just I know these are god symbols for the Atruaghin, they're the right style, and
Well,
there's
they-
9 of them or
Or
something.
whether you recognise 5 symbols of the
Well,
two
yes.
gods, and then you've got these other ones that would seem to potentially fit, but not.
This is why I'm taking notes.
Of
Have you ever seen these symbols before?
Okay, so you recognize Running Elk and Storm Tamer quite easily.
Yeah.
You also recognize Stoneclaw and Turtle Rider and Tiger Stripes. They're the main clan gods.
Yeah.
You also recognize symbols for father of their clans,
Yeah.
as he's known by them. But on top of that, you also have the Amber Serpent.
So possibly the hint that the fact that one of the other clan gods is if one of those representing the horse type clans, you think, oh, hang on.
You also have the Spider.
Okay.
You also have the Goat.
Spider, goat. What was the first one?
The Amber Serpent.
Amber serpent. Wouldn't that be fun if that was a copper dragon?
You think it's a coaxial?
That would actually make a lot more sense.
The coaxial is
one
modelled
we-
after one of the gods,
Of course.
known as the Amber Serpent.
Yes. So yeah. So his people were, I'm presuming, used as messengers by the other gods.
Right.
And the last one that
God made him in his own image.
Well, the coatl, yeah, the coatl are made after the amber serpent, but there's multiple of them, and they're treated basically the same as angels.
and the last symbol on there is at Santiotl.
Yeah.
And from history, the one who destroyed the Azcan civilization amongst
Yeah.
many others. He is known as the Corruptor.
Yep.
For many reasons.
Yeah. So of course, the obvious thought there is, he's the corruption that we're trying to remove, or at least an aspect of him. Or one of his minions. I'm also going to guess that the reason why there aren't the spider, the goat, or the amber serpent around anymore is because of him.
Oh no, you think they're still around.
Oh.
they just are not the primary gods.
No.
If you think of greater gods, each one of them is technically a greater god.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones that they pray to are the lesser gods.
Yeah.
So they don't pray to the greater gods anymore. The only greater god amongst that list is the father of the clans.
That's true, because they pray to Bear and so on, not to Atruaghin himself.
Mm-hmm. And
They've got a shrine to him.
They got a shrine to him, but they don't pray to him as well. And he is one of the greater gods.
Yeah.
And each of the other gods on that list is top tier god.
Ooh.
So when you talk about the gods have 6 levels.
Right.
And the top gods are the movers and shakers of the world.
Yeah. Okay. So we can't go and get rep for rescuing a god from Oblivion.
Yeah, it's also
So maybe we could.
Better here. Okay, he's never been much of a student of history or religion for his clan, so
No. No.
But Pedodir will move to the top of the stairs and have a look into the room that the centaur came from.
Yeah. Though I will also point out that a glaring omission in the Atruaghin clan's pantheon is there are no water gods, no gods of time.
Which actually suits Spider.
Spider's,
to an extent.
Spider's not a god of time, he's a god of thought. You do recognise the symbology, he is the trickster god.
Yeah. No, that's true. Well, there are multiple ways to.
The Ember
view
Serpent
those.
is the preserver god.
Yeah.
The goat is the god of undeath. So each of them have their places in the pantheon. Okay, so looking up the stairs.
Yep.
Making sure I
Once
describe
I
it properly
finish
for
staring
you.
at this key, I'll follow him.
Well, I figured it took me a while to. You were looking at the crayfish and the key and things like that, but it took me time to actually try and gather up the remains of.
Yes,
you've got
Our
all
missing
that and
player
the
title should be
stuff.
showing up in about 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why I've been looking at my phone to make sure that the
Fair enough.
missing players would show up.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would be turned on silent.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
I sort of let people know because I generally try not to interact with it unless it's relating to Ariadna or players.
I'm
That's perfectly
tend to happily
reasonable.
work on the idea that I'll assume that if it's happening,
If it's happening, that means it.
it's important. Like
Okay.
people turn on silent if they don't need it.
So as you
Yeah.
come up the stairs and look up there, in the middle of the chamber is what appears to be a big slab of marble with a indentation in the center of it that would equate to the size of the centaur you destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
It has what you would also see where the spear would have sat,
Mm-hmm.
as well as it's in length of its body.
So when you say
Right.
the indentation of the centre,
As in the
center
dust
ways,
and-
if it was a human, it would have been a human body lying in state type stuff on top of this marble platform, the equivalent for a centaur.
But it would have been, you'd think, kneeling on
Yeah.
top of
As I
it.
say,
and-
whichever way it would sit.
Yes,
in
it
that
would-
sense,
It would be upright.
and
And
so
then-
yes,
So it's been-
a hold for spear. So
Yeah.
yes, so
And
it's been
the
weighted.
spear itself, even though it's not looking like it's bronze tipped, it's actually bronze tipped.
Okay.
So it's a bronze tipped spear.
Okay. It was quite obviously metal from the picture,
Yes.
but bronze head is still quite enough to stab holes in people.
It actually says blue grey flame shaped spearhead. Blue grey. Bronze
Blue-grey.
bronze halved blue grey metal head.
Okay.
Which is not
Yeah.
a common metal.
No.
Or some sort of stone.
It
Not
does
that thin.
But yes.
it does appear to be a metal head, but not a metal you recognise.
Yeah.
Scattered about the room looks to be jewellery and knickknacks made of copper and polished obsidian, quartz and coral. Most of it looks as if it has been laid at the feet of the centaur
Okay.
and then trodden on at a later stage.
So it's all been crushed.
So obviously been
Bent out of shape, not
Yeah.
necessarily pulverized.
yeah, but in
Yeah.
the sense that the centaur was here and people would come and lay offerings at its feet at the base of the statue without it. Presumably it wasn't moving too much, or
Yeah.
they didn't think it was moving, but it did move around and stood on the stuff that it wasn't particularly interested in.
Yeah. I would say just totally and utterly ignored it. Well, yeah.
So
So there's recoverable metal, but massive copper isn't that worthwhile. Yeah.
the plinth itself,
Yep.
I will go and have a bit of a look around the
Yeah.
plinth, not
I'm
touching
not-
it initially, just to
Yeah, I'm going to look around the walls.
Okay, the
See what there is.
plinth itself is okay. You just got to figure out which one's the actual horse
and
clan.
I guess, well, first question in the sense of in the room, were there other exits from the room?
There are other exits from the
And
room.
which way was the centaur facing when it was sitting on the plinth?
Give me a sense. I'm just looking up so I get you the right name. Okay, so the way the Plymouth was facing the so a doorway on the other side,
Right, okay.
and it is a very much an L-shaped room, but nothing else. The two doors are across from each other, on the L, and then the L continues around the side with nothing down that side that you
Okay.
can see,
But yes, obviously, it was-
except for refuse and rubbish.
people would come through the other door, not necessarily. They wouldn't be coming up the stairways
No.
the way we.
They'd have to walk past the marble plinth to go
Yeah.
between the doorway and the stairwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the point is, yes, they come in the other door to actually lay their offerings in that sort of sense. So,
And their marble would have acted as a guard area.
So walking around the plinth, looking if there's any markings or indentations and like that
Yeah.
on the plinth.
And as I said, I'm checking the walls. Same
Decide,
thing.
realising that there's probably nothing there, I will go closer and have a.
Give me an investigation roll while you're looking at the plinth.
It's not the best. It's not bad, but it's not the best. But you've got investigation from memory, don't you?
Yes. Get me a whole 11.
Hey, better than
While you're looking at the front of it, not the top of it, you've come across the symbol of a war bonnet and a knife.
A which and a knife?
War bonnet and a
Oh,
knife.
war and a knife.
Which you know is not part of the Azcan religion whatsoever.
No. No. If it's a war bonnet, then it's a Atruaghin.
And it is the symbol of Tekati, the god, I think it's a goddess. Goddess. That's what I don't care too much either way. Honestly, because I've got them all with a single pronoun at this stage to make it easy to deal with. Whichever you prefer is the form they take, and it's the god of the horse clan.
Which centaur is
And
understandably
the
centaur.
centaurs are actually in the horse clan.
Yeah.
It's one of the few places they are welcomed as equals.
What was the name? Sorry?
Tahkati. I'm just terrible at pronouncing things, so that's why I give you the wording.
Tekati's fine enough.
They're also known as Storm Tamer.
Okay.
That's the Atruaghin name, is Storm Tamer. They worship them as the Storm Tamer.
But yeah, so I don't see anything else when looking around the plinth.
While you're looking at that one, it is a cavity.
Okay. I'll keep examining the carving more closely. Confirm whether there's any traps in the location and then investigate the cavity as well.
Okay, so you can see through it clearly,
Okay.
whereas your elfin friend just sees stone.
Okay. Well,
That
obviously
is-
I've got no reason to know that's a difficulty because
Well-
he's looking at the walls at the moment, so we're not
Yes.
seeing the fact that there's
Well, the thing
we're
is,
not
if
seeing
you-
different things.
Well, the thing is, if you mention it and say, "Oh, I found a hole," I'll go, "I can't see."
Well,
that."
no, but it's more the idea, like,
Yes,
okay,
I know. We're both doing the same thing at the same
and
time.
I'm looking at the room and thinking, oh, okay, that looks a bit closer. Oh, hang on, there's a hole in there, and I'll start investigating
Yes,
the hole.
yep.
But I don't need to actually.
Yeah.
There's no reason why I'd verbalise that at
No.
this stage.
I was just saying it so people
Absolutely,
can hear it.
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, if it comes up, it comes up.
and like you don't even see the symbology on it.
No.
So you reach in and you find that there is a serpent bracelet made out of electrum, and it is quite stylized. Basically, it is like an asp.
Yep. Do I recognise it as, again, ceremonial regalia that might be useful outside of this temple?
It does look like it is ceremonial garb,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing you recognise.
Not for any ceremonies I've been involved in.
It could be. It is. It does bear the markings of and design that your people use, but you've never seen anyone use an asp as part of their symbology.
Yeah.
And it looks old.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think it's something as Candy.
Take it. Okay, I'll certainly take it out to have a bit looked at
And beside it, you
Mhm.
also find some silver hairpins set with jade. These things, when they come out, do not look like anything the Azkans would make. But it's in the same traditional style, just that it has a refinement to it those guys never had.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks older than them.
Right. Although admittedly, I'm probably looking at it thinking, I guess these are the offerings that were particularly desired as opposed to all the other ones that got handed off.
The ones that didn't get stomped on. So I need a drink. I should take the container.
And so the symbology you recognize on them is the hairpins seem to be honouring the cat god.
Okay, which certainly then fits down with the room that we went into downstairs, which definitely appeared to have a somewhat cat motif. It was barely perceptible, but if you really looked hard, you might be able to spot the odd cat or two amongst the entire room. Okay, well, again, I will bring these out so they can be looked at more closely. I'll also then finish my examination of the plinth. And you mentioned that there was actually effectively a placeholder for the spear, or was it just more the
It was
the spear
more
had been left for a long time and the dust had been built up around it type stuff?
The dust had been built up around it.
So yes,
It obviously the spear had rested in the same spot
that's
for a
right,
long
but it
period
wasn't
of time.
actually a slot that the spear stuck into. It was just
It was just that's right.
It was while the centaur was sitting there waiting, the spear was sitting beside it.
Yes.
Well, did you find anything looking around the walls?
I don't know. Did I find anything looking around the walls?
Yes, give me a insight roll for your character.
Mm-hmm. Bloody hell.
You are trained in it, so you do get your...
Yes, I get the full bonus bits. That's already included.
Mm.
Cool. 15. 14. Sorry.
Okay.
Can't add up tonight.
Looking around the room, there are some pictographs here that represent a culture that the elves noted had angered the gods.
Ooh.
So much so that the gods wiped out all evidence of them.
Wow.
And the fact that there is actual evidence of that culture here is pretty much unheard of.
The gods missed it. We're not doing their clearing.
Yeah.
Which means that the markings here would be dated after the gods cleansed the world, not before.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing dated from before that date existing that is known. Or it could simply be knowledge of this site was removed, which is also possible.
Yes, well, the fact that the site is still here means it's more likely they just remove people's memories of it.
And what you do know is that the cat was of great symbology to that culture. But it was not of any symbology to the Azcan culture. They had the jaguar and tiger warriors, but that was it. It was a warrior symbology, yet the use of it on this tomb is more of a preserver of a guide than as a warrior.
Right.
Which is not the culture you expected to find here.
Yeah.
This in itself would be enough to give you a couple of scientific journals.
Yes, if I copied every image on the walls,
It would probably take you a while to do so.
it would.
But
Yeah. Personally, I'm willing to spend the probably day it would take, maybe 2.
but it is of extreme good and bad find at the same time, because knowledge of this culture has been forbidden even to the elven people.
Yes. Basically, it would make my name in scholarly circles, but it's a really bad idea for me to read any further.
And it may not make your name in scholarly circles.
Well, it would,
Because-
for a few seconds, just before the lightning bolt hit.
Well,
Yeah.
and again, then even afterwards, if the gods decide to then wipe the evidence once more, all
Yes.
the work would have gone to waste.
Yes. Everybody who's ever read my paper, or heard of it, or has seen the title.
But they've only wiped evidence of it once.
Exactly. That was just it. Was the fact that seemingly
Yeah,
they
that was enough.
that these drawings were made after that idea. So
Yeah.
they obviously there was a few people that maintained memories
Well-
or associations.
Well,
And,
the important thing from that point of view is they haven't destroyed this room.
And from what you've been able
So-
to tell from the pictographs, the location of that culture is not that far away from your homeland, the centre of the culture. So when you've got the Atruaghin clans on one side, and then you go into Darrakin, you've got Alfheim inside Darrakin.
Yeah.
On the other side of Darrakin, you've got a road off into Yularum.
Yeah.
It says that Yularum was the centre of that culture.
Right, but it's presently occupied.
It's presently a desert. It was not a
Oh.
desert in
It
the...
wasn't a desert at the time. Yeah, it was pretty heavily wiped out.
It was
But
a...
the records of it are still here.
And
Well-
records of it here show it as a jungle.
Yeah, but the idea being the
Yeah.
fact that so they hit Yularum and destroyed everything there and made it a sheet of glass
Yes.
type effect. But some people escaped the destruction, moved off to this area, set up
Yes.
their temple,
And
and
then
redo their history.
they've redrawn it. Yeah,
Which
but it
obviously
has been.
afterwards, but the next hit because the gods
Yeah.
only did their destruction once.
Yes, they
Things happened
no,
afterwards.
Yeah, and wiping out the people was obviously considered enough. Wiping out the knowledge of their existence wasn't considered necessary. Otherwise,
Well, no,
otherwise this room wouldn't exist.
Well, no, I'd be suggesting the fact that they attempted to wipe out the knowledge completely, including all the people,
Yes.
but they missed a few.
Yeah, I know.
And
yeah,
a few got
exactly.
away, which meant that, yes.
Yeah,
And the
but no one's followed up.
and the
But that's the thing, and there was a follow-up.
the Electrum Asp armband is from that culture. It is what you would consider one of their holy priests.
Okay. Ooh.
There is still one of their settlements still alive on the Opatian lands. But there's only one known settlement from that culture that still exists, which is how come you still have knowledge of it.
Yeah.
The elves have kept track.
Yeah.
Some of them have been. It has been a debate amongst the elven people whether or not they should wipe it out, following the gods' example. Except for the fact that the gods didn't wipe it out.
Yes.
Which is why they're
them
currently
live.
currently discussing that in scholarly circles, but it hasn't gone beyond the equivalent of a floor discussion.
You do realise that I'm probably going to end up. Well, we're going to end up talking to Atruaghin again, aren't we? Either I'm going to ask, or he's going to suggest a solution to the ancient culture problem, and then he's going to expect us to do something about it.
Well, I mean, to me it appears that
Either leave them alone.
whilst
Yeah.
whilst the clans treat this as a holy site,
Yes.
that Atruaghin was sacred at, it would certainly appear that it's been a holy site for a lot longer than Atruaghin's
And
influence.
you believe that
Yes.
the Guardian dated back to that time.
Oh.
And the fact that because if you consider, obviously, this particular room has been dedicated to a culture that started in what was originally what now Ilarum, and
Yes.
they left behind their guardian, which potentially is part of the source of the corruption. But
Yeah.
if you think about the room that we fell into when we first arrived,
Yes.
filled with all the dioramas, that was definitely more recent in the sense of only several thousand years possibly.
Yes. This
Because
big.
it was definitely talking about it was showing Azcan daily life.
Yeah. This place has obviously been not necessarily continuously occupied, but occupied for several thousand years by various people.
Now, whether or not
And the map art and artistry here describe the world differently. They describe
This is stuff I'm going to take notes on.
They describe the Irendi and Minrothad islands as being part of the mainland.
Ooh. Oh God, I so want to copy this whole room.
It's basically it looks to be the equivalent of a historical record of a time that's been forgotten.
But also what's interesting about that is the idea that
This information on the walls in this room is a major treasure.
I don't know. That's not,
I will copy.
But I'm just thinking about the sense of where it fits
Yes.
in the idea of the vast majority of this temple has definitely had Azcan influences
Yes.
with subsequent some influences or developments from Atruaghin culture.
Yeah.
However, this particular room and the guardian of that room, whilst apparently a member of the Horse Clan, or likely connected with the Horse Clan, certainly potentially had associations
Yes.
with a culture significantly earlier, and that now no longer exists because it was deliberately destroyed.
Yes. And this is probably the most complete description of that people and the ancient lands that is likely to be found at the moment.
Outside of a major library.
Outside of a major library.
But
And this is probably going to have stuff that they don't have.
But what I'm looking at also is the fact that we were sent here to cleanse the corruption upon the temple. Now,
Yes.
the assumption of that was the corruption on a Atruaghin temple
but it's not Atruaghin.
Which
Which
is
is
seemingly
consent.
for Azcan temple.
Yeah, it's been adopted by Atruaghin. Well, remember, remember, Atruaghin is also the sponsor of the Azcan.
Absolutely,
Because
yeah.
he is an Azcan.
Yes.
So,
But what I'm getting at is
yeah, which is why he told us to come and do something. about it.
Okay, the corruption. Okay, we're
Yeah.
happy that the Azcan and the Atruaghin are effectively synonymous as far as this temple is concerned.
Yes, because they have the same sponsor, even though they're not the same people.
However, this particular space
Is not.
is certainly
Is
not
old.
Azcan Atruaghin, although there's obviously connections with
It's
the
all
Horse
pre
clan.
Azcan.
There's valid connections with the Horse clan involved.
Yes, which means they existed at the time.
They
existed at the time of the Cat Clan.
But what I was saying is that if the culture that is represented by this room was wiped out by the gods in the rest of it, in its main settlement, there'd be reason to think that, okay, this must be the corruption on this temple. However, considering that the culture was wiped out quite possibly before this temple was in place from the Azcan, then that does not seem to be something that would be corrupting. The temple would have to have been built after the corruption was already in place.
Well, the temple may have been put in place to control a corruption.
I can accept that, yeah.
It may be here as a guardian in itself, and something has got loose. I'll also note that where necessary, I will use comprehend languages on aspects of this wall, or if nothing else, I'll copy everything down and then comprehend languages it.
Well, if you're going to be spending some time copying,
it's going to be a while.
Let's go. I'm not saying you can't right now, but
yes,
there is apparently one exit from this room.
There is one exit from this room. I'm just reading up on the... Okay, so the 1500 years ago is when the culture disappeared off the map.
Okay. Again, as I say, that sort of information the Paladin probably doesn't know.
The Alpha knows that.
I'm mentioning things as we go. Okay, I worked out the date. You know I'm good at history.
Yeah, that's cool. So then, 1500
years there.
So when does that correlate with the Azcan culture?
That would be the Azcan being taken over by the...
Well, no, okay, right. When was the height of the Azcan culture?
That's what I'm checking up against because I've got to compare.
Yeah. Because obviously that would be part of that. So if it turns out the Azcan culture is actually older than 1500, then that certainly allows that the influence of this other culture to definitely be the corruption on the Azcan temple.
It also means that the beast clans have not actually been around for a huge amount of time.
No. Well, I mean that's not unreasonable at all because if you think about, whilst we would consider we've been around forever, because we've been around for many generations.
Yes, but
generations pretty short.
I think all you need is 5 generations, and you've been there forever.
No, exactly. And it's not like generations very long.
Yes.
So
because you guys
5 generations aren't that. Isn't that a significant period of time by the world reckoning?
Yeah.
So,
when you've got 25-year generations, and very few people live to the second generation.
Well, no, you're looking at a maximum. We're talking about a maximum of 35 lifespan.
Yeah.
So generation is actually.
No. Some people do get older than that.
Yeah.
You do have old people, just not very many of them. And another thing with tribes people, and people with this sort of culture, it's not so much that everyone dies by the time they're 35. The fact that the average age of 35 average age of death is between 30 and 35 because so few people live to the age of 5. That's one of the things that makes lower class London, Victorian London, and pre-Victorian actually look really, really bad.
Oh yes,
because
look at average age rate.
Because the poor people had an average age of death of 18
So, in comparison, the Atruaghin, the Azcan thing was 4,000 years in the past.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Whereas the Thin one is a lot sooner.
Okay.
But it does strike you as a lot older in a lot of cases because it's a bit backward in some of the things.
And also, yes, in some
Yes.
senses, the Azcan culture, we can, from an Atruaghin perspective, we can see the connection between Azcan and Atruaghin.
Yeah.
And so therefore it's a ship closer in time
Yes.
in that sort of way.
So that's the
Yeah.
link. They are actually part of the setting.
Yeah.
Right.
But yes, so that would imply then that the
Once I get that
the
right.
Azcan temple, this temple was created to Azcan significantly before
Yes.
the fleeing of the what is now Yularim,
Yeah.
and therefore yes, even the likelihood or the potential of these source of corruption is definitely
Yeah.
there. But yes, so while he's enraptured by the walls and the pictures and everything like that,
Yes. I will tell you this will take a little time.
Peter will at least have a look through the next door and see what's there. So take a listen and make sure there's nothing on the other side from what you can hear, and check to see if the door is trapped, and then open it as you can.
Yes.
Okay, as you go up to the next door, the next door appears to be solid jade.
Ooh, that's an interesting door.
Steal the door. Right.
Does there appear to be a way of opening the door?
No handles, no keys,
So when you say door, it's not really a door so much, it's there's
It's
a
a piece
jade
of
panel
wall.
in the wall.
Yes. That looks like it's meant to move.
Or the wall is made of jade in this particular
Well,
location.
I'm presuming there's at least a little bit of a gap around it, so it looks like it's a door.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
There is a indentation in the wall that looks like a doorway,
Yeah.
and inside that is
Okay, so there's sort of a door frame effective,
yep,
but the frame is filled with a jade block of some sort.
where you'd think the outside of the doorway would be.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a jade block sitting
okay.
on the as a cap to this room.
I will. Can I see on the floor amongst all the scattered offerings and
Bits.
detritus and things?
Mm-hmm.
Is there evidence? So, we're working on the idea that people have been coming in here dropping offerings at times. Is there any factual evidence that has happened in the last?
Nothing looks like it's happened in more than 100 years.
Right.
But there is also newly disturbed footprints. Give me a investigate roll.
16.
Nice.
Okay, there is one set of track of prints that appear inside the door. Inside the room, probably about 3 or 4 feet from the door.
Mm-hmm.
They just appear with no way of walking to where they are. Walk around the corner into where the refuse was, and there is something missing from that location.
Okay.
And then the steps don't go anywhere.
Okay.
They're like someone has teleported into the room, walked up to something, and teleported out.
Okay. Well, I will follow those steps to see, and then look at the area where they disappear and see if there's any markings, indications. You suggested something might have been missing, or just you thought about there was
You can see as new as the footprints is the marking that something is missing from that location.
As in something's been taken. It's
Yeah.
like a bit like we thought about the
Like the
face of
spear.
location. Right, okay. Can I determine what sort of shape or design might have been the item taken? How big it was?
Looks like the sort of thing shaman stuff.
Okay.
So the sort of stuff that this does have a lot of.
So we talked about the idea like the footsteps lead up to sort of like effectively an alcove or shelf.
Well, you know how I
things
said there
are
was an
stored?
L-shaped room with a lot
Yeah.
of refuse and stuff in there. The
Yeah.
footsteps lead into there, and something in the middle of that section has been removed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'll give Paul
That'd be-
more of a historical role here
So when we're
because
hearing refuse, it's the like the yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll be able to describe the refuse in more detail
Yes.
after the roll.
Okay, here's the thing. This would be a good time for it. How many table rerolls have we got?
Well,
2.
I was more going to suggest the fact
'Cause
that
The table rerolls gives you advantage, so you
Yeah,
can
well,
roll with advantage.
I was going to suggest the fact that with Pedagear pointing out exactly what appears to be missing in that location, and
You can technically
you
have advantage
you
on the
can-
roll.
you've got advantage anyway.
Because you're aiding me.
So I'm going to give you
And
advantage on the roll.
Yes, because you're aiding me and you've made a successful roll. Well, that's a good start.
Roll again, see what the other one is.
I'm going to.
So,
That's 21 just for a starter. 21.
Okay, so looking at it, it looks like
Yeah.
from what you have read up on, there was a burial casket for canopic jars
And they're no
left
longer
here.
here.
No,
Yeah.
and they look to have been removed within matter of days.
Oh.
Around the time you were asked to deal for corruption here.
so in fact, the corruption could well just be someone's come in and stole stuff.
Well, I think it's going to be more than that.
Well, but the timing would fit, is what I'm saying.
Canopic jars. That's a mummy. Was. So this is a guardian's basically body part. Someone's taken that for magic components,
Or something that's
or they're using it for some ritual.
so, which
which
might have
is-
been why the mummy was somewhat disturbed when we were, even before we had a disorder, he was coming after us in that sort of sense.
Yes. You stole my bits.
I don't care if he's coming in up behind me.
And someone who would have use of such stuff could also render a mummy useless.
Yeah, any mummy.
Well, no, specifically could have got past that guardians.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
you
so,
could-
so someone who has who would have knowledge of something that specific
yeah.
would have the ability to render a
Yes, they would-
guardian.
Yeah, they would
useless.
basically pick it up and they would just go,
They-
and he would not be able to do
They
it.
touch absolutely nothing else in the room. Everything else in the
Yeah,
room looks
yeah,
like
exactly what I
it
was
is remains of a papyrus library.
Yeah.
So, if you had some way of restoring this dust back to its original thing, you'd probably have the last library of Nithia, which you're currently standing on. Which would also have been a great evil that they would have locked away.
The fact that they don't say suggesting that either when they destroyed what was now Yalaro, they either got away with more than we first thought, as opposed to just a few random people in their memory.
Yeah.
They either got away with a lot more of the physical library, or they'd already set themselves up with a safe house.
And you're also able to recognize that it's not dust you're standing on, it's ash.
It's been burned.
And it was burned recently.
Ooh.
They actually set it alight on their way out.
To conceal information.
So that means that
all
if
they're doing God's work, fine, removing the.
Yeah, but
they may have taken certain pieces on their way.
Yes.
yeah. What's the thing? If they've taken 3 books and burnt 1.
Yes.
There's enough here to say that there was probably about maybe 200-300 scrolls here.
But admittedly, the concept of this being effectively a safe house of the knowledge of, what did you say the culture was called? Nithya?
Nithya.
Yes.
All good.
The Nithian culture was destroyed, based at Yalarum. How long, whilst Nithya was destroyed 1500 years ago, when did it start, or when did it flourish? Because potentially, if it flourished 5,000-6,000 years ago, then we could be back in the idea of it being the temple here has been here as long as or before Taranto or the Aztec.
It flourished 2,500 years ago, so it flourished right after the Azcan civilization disappeared.
Right. So we are still looking at the Azcan temple base, but the Nithians found it and stored their knowledge here.
Yes.
Possibly working on the idea of if they need to hide it from gods, we're better to hide it than in the temple of an old god that no longer looking after his temple, but no other god could look into because obviously it was their place.
Yes.
Or the gods put it there themselves. There are a whole bunch of gods who are known to plan for the future.
Well,
both the gods of good and both the gods of evil.
Right, it's not necessarily like the sort of thing that when we talk about gods doing something and planning something, it's not like they all do it together normally.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Mending isn't going to cut it, I don't think, for putting these things back together.
The Amber Servant is known as the Preserver. He is a god of many. Many people know him.
Yeah.
His symbology is throughout all the religions.
Interesting.
They don't. He's not always in a religion, but his symbology is there.
Yeah. So someone else might use the Amber Serpent, but the Serpent's going to be still there. Yeah, I'm thinking though, do I have a spell that would help me put any of these scrolls back together? Answer, no.
Have you got a spell that will allow you to look a week in the past?
No. That would be useful.
Well, not necessarily particularly useful because it might mean you can okay, yes, I can see all the scrolls are all there. They're all rolled up, I can't read anything, but...
Yes, it's exactly a week in the past. To see what goes on, we have to wait.
So the Thracian people call him the Preserver, the Azcan people call him Katan, and the Atruaghin call him the Amber Serpent.
Okay.
Just trying to think, I don't know whether or not Pettideer's actually come across. I'm sure I've written down Carl the Preserver for something.
You did, but yeah, it's on the Wednesday night group.
Oh, okay, yeah, so that was Dimitri, yes, okay. Because I was looking, I'm sure I've done that recently, and obviously I was thinking, I'm pretty certain I want to remember him back from Kikiko back many years ago.
he has been around a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And we have a Stefan.
Oh, Stefan's.
I've got you written up as being between Jeremy and Paul. I've got you up on the map as being between these two.
Oh, sandwich.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the meat we've been waiting for.
Yes.
And technically listed as late as well, so
Yeah.
Fair enough.
it's okay. They've actually managed to move
We've got
one room from where you were.
However, there's a hell of a lot of story we've picked up.
Oh, what now?
A lot of story stuff.
Should I be pleased or upset?
Pleased.
Well,
And partly horrified.
Yes.
it might depend upon exactly how interested Final Week is in that sort of stuff.
What does Tidal Reach think of history?
History?
Yeah.
In the past, it's just going
I think interesting, but as long as it pertains to religion, it's more interesting.
This
well,
is
this is religious history, so definitely religion.
This is, yes. Yeah, we found, this is after we've taken out the mummy centaur.
Oh, yes.
And we found that the headdress he was wearing, or basically his whole regalia, still don't know if it's magical or not.
it is magical, I did say.
Okay, cool. What about
That's
this-
right. I'm
and the
dying
spear?
slowly.
And the spear is magical.
Yes.
Oh, that's yes, because you can't heal, can you? Or you can't heal naturally.
I can't heal naturally, and I'm dying. I have like 2 or 3 days to live.
But we don't really know that yet.
No. We don't know that. I know it. It's hilarious.
I'm sure you're fine.
I'll be fine until I drop dead suddenly.
A bit.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. We'll make it 3 mornings.
Yeah.
Because then it won't be my problem anymore.
Unfortunately,
Okay, so while
nothing
he's
I can do that much about it.
trying to desperately think how he can recreate a bunch of burnt skulls, I will return to the passageway blocked by jade
Mm-hmm.
and take a look around to see if I can find any evidence of triggers or
It seems to be completely covering the cap.
pushed. Okay, it certainly is. I was expecting that it potentially it's been pushed in to block it, but I thought, okay, I'll just start by seeing if there's anything there. When I don't find anything, I will try and give it a bit of a push and just see how heavy it's likely to be.
Having a look around, you're able to tell that it had been slid by the look of the debris at the bottom.
I think the debris being pushed up, like I say, it's not like it's been pushed from this side, but the debris been pushed in
Yep.
as the block has been pushed in. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
And-
I'm assuming this is a new day, right?
That's the same
Well,
day.
no, it's
It's the
not
same
day.
Okay.
So you haven't had a morning yet. You're not
So I don't have to roll yet. Okay.
We didn't even have technically have a rest or anything like that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It
But
was
they did move the crayfish.
yes,
Okay.
I went to have a look at the crayfish and there was a platinum key under it. I suppose they didn't have a mat to put it under.
Looking at the debris that's been pushed up like that, is there any indication as to how long ago it may be pushed?
It looks like probably about the last time they had they left offerings here, over 100 years.
Yeah.
Which just sort of equates to one of the times that there have been
Am I thinking
invasions.
of borrow dice or dice of shame? Which one
There's
is
plenty
it?
of dice available.
Okay.
I have the dice machine here. If you'd like
I have
to
options
yourself
now.
with them.
Yeah, we've discovered, by the way, we discovered a culture called Nithia, which was erased by the gods, at least mostly erased by the gods.
Okay.
The room we're in at the moment, writings of theirs all over it and copying them.
Yep.
And you've got a couple of artifacts of theirs,
Yes.
Huh.
which officially haven't existed for a long time. Though you have enough similarities to the Thothian culture, which is the only known surviving culture from Nithia, which is currently in the Alphatian lands.
Okay.
So when you were talking about a couple Nithian artifacts, which particular ones were you talking about?
The armband and the jade hairpins.
Yeah.
There's
The
silver
ones
pins with
that
the
were
cat
actually
motifs.
hidden behind a markings of the clans,
Yeah.
possibly deliberately hidden there and therefore only seen by a member of the clan to go forward, but others would not be able to view it. So.
And it now makes sense the worshipping of the cats below and being put there, as in they would have been put there after the Azkans had ceased to be, even though most of the temple was dedicated to them.
Cat worshipping people, about 1500 years ago.
Okay.
Well, cats and other things.
So the history question, was that because I'm making a roll or just a general thing?
You can do a history to make a general idea of understanding what they're talking about, because because you come from a different culture, you have other knowledge available to
So would
you.
I be rolling history or religion?
History would be a good one.
History. Alright.
Yeah.
That's 12.
At least you got.
Okay, 12. You can recognize some of the symbology here is in the Erendi area,
Okay.
but the fact that the map here shows Erendi as being part of the mainland is odd, as there is no recorded evidence of it being part of the mainland.
Okay, so there's geographical discrepancies.
It's historical that it was part of the mainland, but there are no maps of it being part of the mainland. It's sort of like in our world, we have understanding that all the continents were connected at one point, and now
Yeah.
they're not,
Yeah.
is just something that happens with time, or some great upheaval. Now make a knowledge religion roll.
Whoops. How do I manage to... Okay.
You're just that good.
That's 16.
16. Okay, so with all the symbology around here, especially on the key, The Atruaghin don't seem to have any connection with the gods of time or water.
Huh.
They have no water gods.
Interesting.
Even their turtle clan, it doesn't have a water god.
That's peculiar.
And the other gods associated here just don't seem to fit with what you know, because a lot of them are Atruaghin gods. And there's some extra gods on the special key they found that are like the greater gods who may have sponsored the Atruaghin gods that you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's Atruaghin and a few others that I recognise, but there's also a spider, a goat, an amber serpent, and the symbology for that is in a lot of different religions,
Yeah.
and the destroyer of the Azcans. The destroyer god.
Yep.
Yeah.
At Xantiotl,
Yep. Remember you scorpion.
black serpent, the black winged serpent. So the antithesis of the amber serpent. So one is the light, one is the darkness. So one preserves, one corrupts and destroys.
Yep.
But technically, both are necessary.
Okay. I'm assuming that I can't just push the gate right back out again.
Okay, give me a strength check.
Probably not.
Would you like some help with that?
Is that a
one?
natural one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go and push it, and you manage to faceplant into it as it's just slippery. Just for some reason, there's all this condensation on the inside of it that you weren't expecting.
Well, no, I lost my footing on all the rubble on the ground.
Damned beads.
Okay.
Damned beads.
Well, okay. So obviously, I lost my footing so quickly that I didn't really get to test it. It was actually difficult to push. It was a case of the ground just underneath it.
I'll probably help you up and give you a hand, I think.
Apparently, title's going to help you, so you get advantage on your next roll.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think it makes much difference to either because you've all got strength 10, have you?
The other possibility.
I've got 10.
Exactly.
The other possibility too, considering the symbols on the key are magically concealed, you can't see them. They just look like a plain key.
Okay.
You can feel them.
17.
17. Okay.
Touching them to the jade door might actually do something.
With some assistance from Tidal, you manage to strain your muscles quite badly. You can actually feel your tendons popping as you're pushing. You're pushing so hard that everything seems to move and swim for a moment, then you realise, no, that was just your sight. But you worked really hard at it.
Yep.
It's a heavy door.
It's solid. Not surprisingly. Okay.
Even the two of you combined didn't have the power to move the door.
Well, I didn't expect we would. Because again, you come into this party generally lacks anything in the way of strength.
Yes, yeah. This party would have to be really doing power tipping.
I have a feeling that I'm glad I didn't just roll that, because it would be more painful. Like doing the making and
Yes.
the door would be more painful.
Well, I'm going to guess we're not going that way. Or we could do something else.
Well, assuming there's no other exit, no other pathways that we can still follow at this stage. Having confirmed that the jade is heavy and not moving,
Yep.
I will
Here, try touching this to it.
I'll play with the key and see if that's going to have
Okay.
any effect for it. Right.
So,
There's no obvious place to put the key, so it'll be a case of, just
Touch it, see
place
if
it
it
and
works.
see.
okay, you have trouble touching the door with the key.
What?
As in
Is it
it
just not
repelling
getting there,
the
or-
key?
Everywhere where you keep trying to shove the key against the door doesn't seem to be there.
Will allow me to keep pushing, using the key, and will allow me to keep going forward.
Okay, you
Like,
sticking you stuck your arm almost elbow depth into where the door's supposed to be, and it's still not touching anything.
Okay, well, I will pull out again, just make sure that I can,
Yep, it comes out.
and then I will go back in again and keep going through and see.
Maybe if we got you drunk, you managed to find the keyhole. You know, it's like.
Okay, so you reached all the way in, and you're still finding nothing.
Okay, I will keep pushing forward then, and allow,
You
allow
walk
my shoulder
forward?
and head and stuff to go in.
Okay, you're waist deep in.
Okay.
Should we be letting this continue? I mean, it's just halfway through a wall now.
I will just keep walking forward then, I
The
guess.
important thing is, can all three of us go through?
Well,
Okay,
just see if I get stuck first.
and then you step forward and disappear.
Okay.
But does he come back?
Well,
Okay, you're
Okay. So without you, obviously without what they're doing, but the case of my idea would be yes, I will keep trying to walk forward until I exit the jade block.
you walk forward about 30 feet and come out of the block.
Okay.
Wow.
I
There's a
will
lot
then
of jade.
go back and see if I can go back through again.
Okay, you seem to be able to walk back through.
Okay. Well, so one was on the other side. Just make sure
Okay.
there was not a horde of monsters to go back through. He might not have been to walk back through. He might have been run back through.
Walking through is a passageway continuing on that has has a bit more rubble in here, as if and more footprints as if people have been down here more recently.
So it's an illusion of jade? Or is the key letting us pass through jade?
Well, it's without.
It certainly wasn't very illusionary while we were pushing on it.
No, we didn't have the key at that point.
No, that's right. So I shall walk back through and say, well, I understand now why it was difficult to push.
It's not there.
If there was 30 feet of it solid through
Yes.
there.
Yes.
But, yes.
Yes. Alternatively, you're pushing against yourself.
The passageway continues on the other side
Okay.
after about 30 feet.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah, we're not going to
Some
win that
Just
race.
wanted attention.
Yeah, of course.
so
Okay, so
my initial thought was, yes, I was happy to at least explore what was on the other side of the door while you continued to take your notes, bits pieces if you wanted to, but it would appear that the other side of the door is not necessarily, like, it is certainly a travel beyond there because there is, the passageway continues and there's evidence that others have been there in the recent past.
So
Possibly about the same week or so that the footprints in here had been. Right.
So
I
we're
don't know whether you saw when you were here, but yes, we actually, in this room, whilst there was apparently offerings and the thing had been blocked off and closed, like seemingly this gate had been pushed in place more than 100 years ago,
Alright, okay.
there was actually some tracks that suddenly appeared, like a few feet from the apparent passageway,
Yeah.
walked through down a bit into the room, stopped again, but apparently stole some stuff from within the room,
set light to a bunch of
burnt a whole
scrolls,
heap of ancient scrolls,
which implies
and
that there was
then
some.
left again, like
Right.
without necessarily showing how it got, like I say, the steps start here,
And we're assuming these are what,
In
1
here.
week old?
and
So-
they're certainly in the last few days.
A few days.
Probably apparently about the timing that we got the request to cleanse the temple.
Right, okay.
A question:
Mhm.
Is there still a basically a fixing spell? There used to be one the clerics used to have to called make whole.
I believe there might be.
Is that used for? Because I think make whole will work on things that have been burnt.
I believe so. Well, it's certainly.
Well, you'd have to look it up in that one.
Which means if I put all of this ash in a sack and give it to someone who's got, or learn make whole as a
Don't necessarily.
ritual.
Mm.
I can reconstitute the scrolls.
Okay.
I would think you'd be much better off doing it here without trying to do certain things in any way.
I do not have the spell. That's what I was looking for. I've only got 2 spells.
Yeah, no, okay, like I would suspect that if you were to
Yeah.
gather it up into another bag in big pieces, then
Yeah.
your probability of success reduces significantly. Now, admittedly,
Well,
if you haven't got the capability to do it here, your
Yeah.
probability of success is pretty low.
yes.
But potentially, if you leave it undisturbed, so you can actually come back and look at all the images and take time to copy it down carefully, coming back with additional support,
Yes.
you may get more value in the end.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll leave the ash behind for now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, so I would suggest that yes, it is worth continuing on at this stage
Alright.
and coming back here afterwards if we have the opportunity.
Yes.
Now, so
You also
apparently-
have the sphere and the regalia, which are all magical, so
Yes. We've still
you
got to check
can
out.
attempt to attune to them to see what they do for you. Because the only way to identify what the attunement does is to either attune or cast identify.
It isn't really that appropriate for me to attune the regalia, seeing it's for the Atruaghin Guardian.
well, not the, well, potentially to a guardian.
Yes. Well, it's a Atruaghin style.
The sphere wasn't.
Yeah.
The sphere was not.
No.
The sphere was
That's
The,
yes.
the sphere was older than any of the religions.
Yes. It's pre-Azcan.
Oh, that's right, yeah, because that was the.
The sphere itself is, you'd say,
It's from.
But it did have a
Yeah.
symbol of the Azcan god, the Master King, the
Yeah.
Holland.
Which one was
So,
which
Yes.
which makes you think it is at the minimum 4,000 years old.
yeah.
Yeah. And has a metal head.
But so apparently using the key was enough to allow me to get through.
Okay.
Whether that allows everyone to get through, or
Well,
whether you have to follow along directly behind, or whether you have to be holding hands, or whether it's only one person.
Yeah, well,
I guess we're about to find out.
Yes, we will.
I don't particularly want to lose my arm in a war right now.
Yes.
So you want to take it off now then?
We'll leave it here, and that one will be safe.
Well,
No.
in 2 days it won't matter.
Yes. Actually, the thing with the tuning is I can't remember how close I am to the limit.
It
Three
is
items.
3 items.
Yeah.
But you can always unattune to something and then reattune to it later on.
You can, yes.
Halfway.
Yeah.
But it also takes an hour at least to absorb
Yes.
extra.
Do it right now, right place. I think I've only got 2 achievements at the moment.
I think I've only got 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, actually,
no,
3.
I have 3.
Yeah. Because I did attune to the rod, which I've got to get the secondary effects for. I can't remember what they are.
Which rod was that one? Rod of the Pack Keeper?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that we found that was.
I've got to write better notes.
Well,
Because I know what the braces are, I'm attuned to those, but I've written gloves, question mark, and then attune.
I haven't actually been able to attune to that rod yet. That's why.
You haven't attuned to it, no. You haven't rested since you got it.
And it might be that I got it attuned to you, rather than you
Well,
attuned to me.
actually, it'd be worthwhile resting before we go any further, seeing we haven't rested for a while.
You just want to spend more time reading, don't you?
You've been watching me make that roll.
Well,
Let's be honest here.
a bit.
I won't deny I am curious.
There is a amulet that if you put on will mean that you will have bonuses when you're making the check if you attune to it.
I have attuned to the perishable wounds.
Yep.
So, if you put stuff in your pockets, does it mean that at the same time? Put the dust in the skull.
Hang on.
You've got something interesting?
No, if it's only 3 currently that we can attune to,
Yes.
then I'm not attuned to the gloves. That's why I haven't written anything down, because I'm attuned to
Yeah.
the braces, the clothes of mending, and the necklace.
Yes.
Okay, so another thing
Well, that's
for
sweet.
our Alvin friend who has you have remembered with the whole fact of everything burning down. the halflings have a flame that, when it burns things, will actually turn things whole. But technically, no one's supposed to know they have that flame.
Yeah, so turning up and saying, can I use it?
They call it the black flame. It actually turns burnt things whole as part of burning it.
Flame of reversal.
It's the halfling equivalent of the tree of life.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Whereas the
Need a hand?
dwarves have a
I'm gonna
forge.
say it's a yes.
So
So
how would they react to me turning up with a stack of ash going,
they would probably confiscate whatever they reconstitute.
yes.
They're also guardians in their own right.
Yes. So we would have to sneak in. Yeah, no, I'm better off getting the spells. Yes. You right about it?
Alrighty.
So yes, the halflings could help you reconstitute it at the cost of potentially losing all the items.
Yes. So, yeah, maybe not.
Gonna
But
put
again,
that
I'm
on
guessing
silent
that's
now.
not something you can bring here.
No.
So again, but I would then again leave everything as undisturbed as possible,
Yes, and come back later.
and
Once I have it.
hopefully come back.
I don't know, just kind of brush in a bag sounds like a good idea.
Well, I was thinking that, but maybe.
But the problem is that holding knowledge of debris and detritus around the area as well. But
We'll see what happens when we shove it in the flame. It might go horribly wrong.
we'll get a bonfire.
Oh look, it's a library. That was not supposed to happen.
Okay, so I've got the key and I'll start walking forward. Are you going to walk directly behind me, or do you want to hold hand,
Or are we going to
just-
rest first and get your all your daily stuff back?
I think resting would be nice.
Yes.
Because this is probably the safest place you've been at. There's nothing they can get to you
It's
below.
unlikely to be anything coming directly at us at this stage.
And let's
And
be
I guess
honest,
it gives you more time to think.
Yes.
unbeknownst to me, I'm fairly certain my character right now would love a rest and not knowing their
Yeah, well, that's right.
death
So-
is imminent.
Yes.
So yes, I think resting
Death
is
is
a
always
fantastic
imminent.
idea. Well, yes, but mine a bit quicker than so.
Okay, well,
most.
next we shall have a long rest then, effectively.
Alright. So, I don't heal.
Now, in this long rest, you've
No,
got,
this is where you discover you do.
in fact,
Exactly.
long rest would normally you heal back to your normal, don't you? Or
You heal back fully.
Yeah, heal back fully on
and
the
you
long
get
rest.
half of your dice back. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think
So
I
you're feeling all better now. Good to
I
hear.
think I heal back and then I start losing max HP, I think. Is that correct?
I didn't think you were healing naturally, but you're.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't heal naturally.
But your maximum HP is probably also going down.
That's the
because
one,
you can
yes.
get you can get magical healing. but-
Alright, so now I need to make that roll.
Okay, so what else actually needed to remove it?
I
Well,
think
first
it's
of all, discovery that it's-
Okay, so because 24 hours haven't elapsed, nothing bad happens on the
Oh.
other side of things.
Yes.
Well,
You,
except,
you,
for the fact,
you just don't get back your hit points normally.
except,
okay.
except for the fact that you're not feeling so much better in the morning. as
yeah,
expected.
so I wake up, I mean I've got my powers back, but I feel like twice as bad.
So every 24 hours from that point that you received it, whether you're resting or not, you will then
So it's been about 10 hours or so since.
you will then lose 3d6 maximum hit points.
Right. So it's been about 10 hours ago so far. So
10
what hit
hours.
points you are at the moment right now?
Though you got half your hit dice in hit points, hit dice back, so you can actually spend them
I
normally.
can't spend hit die as part of mummy rot. That's what I wrote down here. I could be wrong, but
Or maybe it's just the fact you don't get the restful healing, but you can use your hit dice. I would think they were the same thing personally, but
oh.
Well, it says you can't regain hit points, which means I think the long rest is where you regain hit points, but you can spend hit dice to.
but you can spend hit dice a short rest or a long rest. But
I'm not sure it's using the word
I would
regain.
thought that was still regaining hit points at that point.
Oh, let me have a quick read on how
I
that
may have
refers to
written it
that
down wrong.
No, but
I had to read it up on it after.
Regain hit points. It's the definition which is what regain. What term is regain in that sense?
Okay, he's going to look up short rest or healing.
Rest and restore hit points is described in chapter 8.
Resting 186.
So, character can spend one in a short rest. You can spend one more hit dice at the end of short rest, up the maximum hit dice. Equal to character level. For each hit dice spent this way, carry roll the die and a constitution modifier. Regain hit points equal to the total. So that would be a regain,
Yep.
which is what they're saying there.
Okay, so yes, you can't do short rests or
Right,
long rests to use hit dice.
And in fact, yes, at the end of a long rest, a character regains or lost hit points.
Yeah. So the curse is you can't regain hit points.
But yes,
Full stop.
but well, no. You can be magically healed,
Oh.
but you can't regain hit points.
Gotcha.
Would be
Okay.
how I interpret that.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Hit point, like from cure wounds, is not regaining hit points. It's
Like healing
restoring.
or curing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could quaff a potion. Luckily, you're not a dwarf.
I don't think I have any. I think I kept giving mine to somebody else. Let me check.
Although, okay, technically, cure wounds as a spell, a creature you touch regains a number of hit points.
In which case, then it might not work either.
That is hard. It's awesome but hard.
Someone's going to have to remove curse on you.
Yep. If they do figure out it's a curse.
Well, I mean, the idea is that you obviously haven't healed normally, so
Yes.
there's a reasonable assumption that, hang on, there's something else happening.
Something's wrong because I feel twice as
We've
bad
also,
when
we've
I.
also had the fact that other people that got hit in the recent combat suddenly did not regain hit points.
Well,
did not regain
yeah.
existence. So the idea
Considering they turned to
there's
ash,
an effect
yeah.
is not unreasonable to establish.
So all your wounds look as if they've blackened instead of healed overnight.
Well, this isn't good. I'm no doctor, but I'm fairly certain this is not normal.
And when you normally do that, I want to feel better with that, the internal magic thing that all adventurers get. Of, I feel better. My healing bruises will go away. It's like, oh. You can feel the expenditure of intent, but nothing actually happening.
We are expecting, I would suggest then, particularly also since...
I'm in a lot of pain right now.
So, does anyone actually have healing potion on them at the moment? Oh, well, okay. Does anyone here have the ability to cast healing?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
But I thought
Potentially it's worth attempting healing on the part of the with
doesn't
first.
it depend on the spell description
It depends on the spell description explicitly.
though? Yeah.
On whether it would work on him or not.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and okay. And
Yeah.
from a player's perspective, we've realised it probably won't because it uses the term regain hit points in a cure wound
Yeah.
spell.
And
Yes.
the curse is he cannot regain hit points.
Yes.
So, but I would think though that
Now, there's a
he
thing.
hasn't gained them naturally. Attempting a heal spell would be the obvious next
Mm.
step.
Yes.
Unless people are aware of mummy's effect and they think, oh, hang on, no, that's not
Wait a minute, we fought a mummy. There's a thing about that.
Well, and that's right. Someone may know enough before you use a healing spell on him.
Well,
That would be a religion.
the only other thing is that,
Religion for...
Make it a religion roll.
Here's an interesting one.
You've got religion, haven't you?
I do, yes.
So roll a religion
My
and then you can
cure
make an
may
assessment
work.
as to whether or not you think healing might
My
work
healing
on you.
light will.
What does healing like do?
Oh, wow.
Regains wounds. It doesn't cure hit points.
Well, no, but that's it.
Uh,
If it came...
So what is the description?
Well,
Uh,
the description of mummy rot says unable to regain hit points.
Yes, this is channel celestial energy to heal wounds.
Which is different from the cure wounds.
Which
Yes.
regains hit points.
Yes.
So isn't it the same thing?
But yes, okay, so
Different words is the
Oh,
key thing.
Whether the game's actually designed with that specification.
Yeah.
It's semantics in the end, but when the curse is specifically, you cannot regain. But if something says it then heals instead of regaining.
Which
Yes.
other spells
This
do
is
use to-
it's one of the interesting ones. That description does not mention hit points
Hmm.
That's
at
weird.
all.
Yep.
It just says heal wounds.
Right.
You got some d6s.
For example, the Cure Wounds spell
Won't work.
regains hit points.
Yes.
So
Yes.
That is confusing.
Yeah.
it is, but it means that you have to be healed by a warlock.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so what was your looting roll?
21.
21, okay.
Yes, you do
Non-natural.
recognize that you have mummy rot.
And that will make healing much more challenging.
That most things won't work on you.
Do I know the details of mummy rot, or just I know
You-
it's mummy rot?
You know that
You know
mummy
you've got
rot
3 days to live.
that mummy rot prevents you from healing
Yeah.
normally.
Yeah.
So you cannot regain hit points through any means,
Did you know how to remove Mummy Rot?
and that you will lose 3d6 maximum
good
hit
chunky
points
amount.
every 24 hours.
So basically, I have a possibility of dying in either 3 days or 3 weeks.
Well, no, but it's the most important and vital piece of information. Do you know how to get rid of it?
It's a.
It's a curse.
Oh, I no, it's a curse.
So the comment
Okay.
is
So
that
remove curse.
we are
Yeah,
looking
it's
for
a
remove
curse.
curse.
Yes.
Yes.
So-
Again, as players, we knew that.
Yes.
I'm wondering whether the characters did. So,
Yeah.
I am assuming my religion roll allows me to know that.
Yes, well, that's right.
So,
Um,
so what level is remove curse?
That is a very good question.
Yeah. It's on my list actually.
The only answer I can give you right now is this is very painful. Ow, 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 ow,
No,
ow.
It's third level.
And is that mean something you can cast at the moment? Or not?
I mean.
No, it's something. No. I have no idea as a player. So, or as a
He hasn't
character.
been paying attention to what castle level you are, so I think you can only cast second level spells.
I can only do second level. Third level is next level.
Okay.
So yes, I cannot yet
Okay.
do that.
But you can attempt to heal him of damage because at the moment you are wounded as well, aren't you?
Yes, yes. I'm on 1 health currently.
So fairly significantly wounded.
Okay, so yes. First attempt, cure.
So, well,
Doesn't work.
He also he tells you beforehand.
Oh,
well,
He figured it out.
But he mentioned the fact that healing would be very difficult.
Yes.
Yes.
Whether or not that's a statement of cure spells won't, but some sort of radiant, something or other will,
Yes, other types of healing can work.
or might.
So I'm going to try basically
Burning you with
one
healing
die
energy.
Healing light,
Okay.
and it works. So I'll smack you with the rest of it.
Okay.
So how much healing will that do?
5d6.
Wow. Okay.
So how much did that cost you to do that?
I've run out of healing light d6s for the day.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's not a spell you're using; it's effectively a power.
It's a patron given power.
Yeah.
Ah.
And what it means though is that I can smack you with this every day.
But
Smack you with the ugly stick.
But it's not like you can do it enough. You
Until we
can't,
get
you can't
rid of
keep
this
casting
curse.
things enough to get him up to maximum health and then
No.
do it again the next
No.
day. It's straight 5d6.
Yes.
All right. Cool. See what happens.
You'll get more than one, maybe.
I hope so.
He gets 5 on 5d6.
Knowing my luck.
You'll get at least 5 times as many hit points you've got right now.
No, it's a bit more than that. Okay, it's not that much more than that, but it's 17.
That's a little bit more.
Yeah.
You feel healthier as your blackness of your wounds just seals into place.
Oh. I'm not.
You can see all the scarring.
I mean,
and
I feel slightly better, but the fact that I'm making this a permanent tattoo is not quite what I want.
you can see the spider web through all your veins of all the curse moving through your body.
Now, your
Why do I
knowledge,
feel like Proteus is going to kill me?
your knowledge of the curse, it doesn't actually cause you damage. It just means you A, can't heal, and B, you will get progressively sicker on the fact that you. But basically, if you're on 1 hit point, you would quite happily remain on 1 hit point if you did nothing at all and nothing happened. It's just that your battery would keep coming down until it became less than 1. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Once it becomes 0, he turns to dust.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And not even a Dyson vacuum cleaner will save me.
But it's also the sort of thing that yes, if you were to get hit
Although-
now on damage, taking you down 2-0, you also go down.
Once I've leveled and I've got some diamonds, if I stab you and then cast Revivify, you don't have the curse on when you come back.
I mean, it's risky, but I guess it's worth a shot.
Let's just see what we
I
get
have to
to
level first.
Exactly. And if you-
Okay, so now the aim is power leveling.
Well,
This is a very different route than I was expecting.
Cool. So yes.
But if you level first, can't you then cast a move curse?
Yes, that's true.
It's going to take him weeks to level.
It might
Come on.
okay.
If you rely on level,
Survive
there are
for long
other
enough
options
for
to
me
do
to
it.
level. No.
Okay, so what items did you examine during your long rest?
What, sorry?
What items did you examine during your long rest?
Or to attune to it, etc. The magical
I
items.
wanted to examine the gloves, but let's be honest, I haven't written down where I got them from, so I don't have them.
Items that we know of recently that have come into the effect is the
I can't remember if you.
the centaur's headdress and spear, which and regalia type stuff, and the election asp bracelet and silver hairpins.
You think it's more of a armband than bracelets?
Okay, yeah, so yeah,
Yes.
so like a wrap type thing, yeah.
Yeah, and there's the spear.
And the spear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can you examine things without actually attuning to it to determine what the effects are?
Yeah.
You can
You
figure
know-
out the non-attunable
Effects
ability of an item without.
Unless, of course, it's cursed image takes will tune to you while you're doing it. Like stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if there are multiple things, I'm happy to at least look at some of them, but yes, I'm not really in a position to attune to anything at the moment. So.
Yeah.
But of the stuff there, I'm probably most interested
Yes, please. Yes, please.
or curious in the headdress, as that is specifically a Atruaghin religion.
Mhm.
And so I'm happy to start with that as a first point, although it's not like I'm particularly adept at determining the magical effects of things.
So while you're holding it, the headrest sort of shifts from a horse motif to that of an elk.
Oh.
Okay.
Ah.
Now, it's definitely worth taking home.
But it's still made a majority out of metal.
Oh, the headdress is made out of metal as well.
It's
Yes.
the
Stuff on it, but the framework is
all the
metal.
framework is
Yep.
metal,
Okay.
and the plumage changes from that of horse styling to more of elk-ish with like elk tail fur styling and coloration and some horn appearing in it.
Okay.
Maybe you get the middle bits covered with, get a sort of leather cover for it, or wear like cloth around it. But it's up to you.
No,
if you want
that's
to
it.
wear it
No,
from
no,
a cultural
no.
point of view.
Well, no, from the cultural point of view, it's not the sort of thing that we necessarily abhor metal, I didn't think. It was just that, yes, we don't use it, and it's not there.
And you definitely abhor it for weaponry. You don't use that.
I just realised I am the epitome of the everything is fine meme. Because my death is imminent and I have blissful clothes. So I'm
Yep.
going, I'm dying, but this is fine.
It'll all come out okay.
It took a while for everyone to pick up that I'd done that to all the dragon stuff.
Yeah.
Well, something I was looking at, I had a quick look at some of the items that Swift Elk and Elk of the Wood, whatever it was, had. And I was thinking, is any of that stuff I'm interested in? It's all blissful.
The only person who really didn't have anything blissful was the halfling.
Yep.
Well, no, okay, the parody has got the item because we didn't come up like that, the competitive dragon equipment in that sort of way. Yeah.
Okay, so yes,
But yeah, so does it look like, does it seem to do anything else while holding on to it type stuff? Obviously it makes cool and it's useful in ceremonies type stuff, but from my perspective there's nothing more.
from what you think, it allows you to ask your god questions.
Okay, so it'll be good to wear when I'm smoking the pipe as well.
it has the symbology of the head priest of your god. As in, you'd have authority over your religious advisor.
Or I could give it to him. Yes. Because maybe I should take religion before I start becoming the chief priest of the land.
Okay, so you've attuned.
So I'm looking at that. Are you guys looking at it?
The regalia actually alters with it.
Okay. So Shaman's headdress and regalia that I had noted as horse tribe. I will delete horse tribe and just put magically tribe adjustable.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain you becoming the archpriest of your own tribe is exceptionally concerning and an adventure of its own kind.
Well, particularly for someone who's never shown any particular interest in the general history of the tribe.
Well, you,
It's an administrative post.
And the fact that he's potentially going to have enough trouble returning having failed in his original mission.
well, you're expected to be amongst the wisest of the tribes to be able to wear something like
That
this.
would be the only thing I was going for me at the moment as far as taking on that position would be seniority.
I'm starting to learn that in this world, wise is a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Well, wise means he's lived longer than everyone else.
Well, let's face it, there is some wisdom in that. The ability to have survived does imply some wisdom.
Well, that's the thing. In a medieval environment, if you are old, there's a very good chance that most of the reason you've got that old is because you haven't done stupid stuff.
Or you were good when you did the stupid stuff to survive.
Yeah, you were good enough to survive the Hold My Cider incidents.
The question is how you survived and how many brain cells one has remaining.
No one ever really questions that one. If he dribbles a bit while he's doing it, while the next one will be coming along shortly.
Well, I mean, that's just more further evidence of seniority.
Well, if you're doing one of your ritual religious things during the ceremony, yes.
Well, they all know that if they tote the pipe too much, then who knows what's going to happen.
Yes.
Okay, so what else do you investigate during that time frame? And who's doing the investigation?
I am investigating the spear.
Okay,
Yes,
so...
and investigate, I'm not attuned to it. One, I'm not a spearman. Two, I've already got 3 things.
Okay, the Spear of Mazikeen.
The symbol of a cubic labyrinth on it.
Okay, so while you look at it and hold on to it, you get a sense
Yes, it
that
is.
the
Symbol
wielder
of it. No,
of
symbol
the
of it.
spear has a deeper understanding of magic and magic theory and knowledge. It is...
So it's a shaman's weapon, really.
No, it's not even a shaman's weapon. It is a weapon of a arcanist.
Hmm.
Huh?
It is
Okay.
patron of magic.
Oh.
One of the patrons of magic. There aren't many that claim that, but that is the claim of that one.
And that's right, because the spear was much older than any of the other artifacts around.
Yeah.
Even though it had been marked with
Thank you.
the cubic labyrinth of the Atruaghin god.
And while you're examining it, it is not a normal weapon.
It's not something I would actually use as a spear.
Using it as a spear would be very effective,
Yes.
but
But it's not designed to be one.
it's not a weapon. It is basically something that is pure magic.
So it's not a
So it's basically wizard stuff.
It's a staff
With a spear point.
That's right, it's a staff of the Archmagi. It's
With a spear point on it.
staff of power / Archmagi with a pointy end.
Yeah.
Well, some staves do have pointy ends.
Yes, this one's got an actual spear point about this long on it.
You've identified it
Made
as
very unusual
the weapon of Mazikeen itself.
Lick the middle.
It
find out
is
what
the
happens.
god's weapon.
Oh. Oh.
That's what I said. It's not really a weapon.
No.
Anything that is an artifact is not a weapon.
Yeah. Eep. I'm going to sort of hold it out like this, going.
I was going to say.
You can attune to it. You can attune to a weapon of a god.
I was about to say to you was the fact that yes, while you're looking at it and you weren't planning on attuning to it, you suddenly realise you had been attuned to it in the same way half the other artifact.
One thing you do know is anyone who so much as touches an artifact has a curse. There is
Right.
you're always cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the curse doesn't have any effect on you. Sometimes it can be quite devastating. It's always a curse tailored to the belief of the god itself.
Right. So, Mazikeen's a god of fire.
More god of energy.
And energy. Well, fire energy.
Fire is the offshoot of the element.
And one of the energy gods.
Well, let's face it, if he was particularly a magical, powerful, like magic arcana type god, then people might think, oh yeah, he would got a fire because he threw fireballs around a lot, but it was just, that was simply one thing he could do.
So, is there any way to find out what the curse is? Is there any markings on the spear and work out what's going on with it? Because there's no way I've got spells to do anything about it.
Well, let's face it, half the time the curse of an artifact is the fact that it becomes, you attune to it, automatically you can't do it else. It's like a cursed weapon in the sense that, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Or
But
something
then it
like
also has other issues that occur.
yes.
So,
Or attune to it or die.
It just has the symbol of Mazikeen on there, as far as you can tell.
Right.
Basically, this item would be from the start of the Azcan civilization.
So, the best thing at the moment is I keep carrying it so that nobody else touches it.
well, or you could give it to the monk who's someone who can actually use spears.
And he gets the curse as well.
I've got enough curses on me right now, thank you.
Actually, what happens, you get enough curses, they fight each other and you stay alive because they're against each other, not you.
Why do I feel it's like some kind of religious curse implosion?
Well, hey, you've just got to get your god unhappy with you, and more things will happen.
Oh no. How many games must I piss off my god? All of them apparently.
Well, or at least, obviously, the curse of the mummy and the curse of the spear can work in concert with each other because the mummy was glued in the spear.
I feel like it's become some terrifying evil NPC.
Besides the curse of holding an artifact, there is also a chance of failure anytime you use an ability, and when you do, the issue of the weapon is generally a lot nicer than the drawback of something going wrong.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is,
So-
if you have the curse while you're holding the spear, if you hang the spear on, the curse may go.
May.
And if you give it to this one, the curse will only last a few days.
Until someone else touches it.
Well, so, well, okay. If others aren't looking at it, after looking at the headdress type stuff, I will have a look at the armband and the silver hairpins. But,
Okay, so looking at the...
Yeah, sorry. So the best thing I can think of at this point is once we actually get out of here, and Atruaghin talks to us again, I can ask him about the spear, and possibly have him remove whatever curse it is.
You could.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you're looking at the armband, you realise that the armband is...
looking back.
Technically it does. It does look back at you. It has nice, shiny little eyes. All made out of electrum like the rest of it. It is perfectly shaped for your arm.
Made for me.
Oh, I would be the worst god ever. I put like googly eyes on all my artifacts.
And something
the don't.
You say that like a bad thing. Well, I won't actually place it on at this stage yet.
You hold it next to your arm and compare, and it just wraps around your arm.
Oh, okay.
It's now attuned to you.
Of course it is.
Well, that escalated quickly.
So, what could kicked off?
Whatever you like the least.
None of the above.
Or how about the first thing you attune to is gone?
Okay. I can't remember what I can, so I'll just go to the top of the list.
Right.
The first on the list, so, which is building a fire resistance. So, okay, so what are we looking at?
That's right. 'Cause you didn't end up joining in the Drazzle party.
Is that the time when the fire resistance would have been handy? He wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, electron axe bracelet, armband. Tuned.
Oh, here's the thing too. This is something that I didn't actually see because I was investigating the walls while he found this.
Yeah.
The hollow in the plinth where the mummy was that he found this in wasn't visible to non-Atruaghin.
Well, it wasn't visible with the L5.
Well, it wasn't visible. It wasn't visible. Wasn't going to be visible to me if I looked at it.
Yeah, exactly. And we presumably
He
also
went,
knew.
oh,
So,
thing.
whereas I just was looking
Right,
there, but,
okay.
oh, no, here's the stuff. So obviously it wanted me in the first place. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't. It wasn't a travel eyes that could look at it. It was my eyes. It would say, "Yep, I choose you."
Quite possibly.
I'm lucky it didn't wrap around my arm and I put my hand in there.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
So now you have to wear all the hairpins to stop you exploding.
So you now know that you are not going to be affected by poison.
Okay.
It's like reverse Pokemon. Gotta tune them all.
So that also means that alcohol won't affect you either.
Well, poo.
Not necessarily a great loss for parody. Not necessarily.
So any form of poison, beneficial or not,
Yeah.
won't work on you.
Doesn't that mean that your tribe, some religion, talking to God thing won't work?
Using the ceremonial pipe and herbs might be more challenging.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, those are drugs, not poisons.
Yeah, it's not immunity to drugs. It's immunity
right.
to poison,
Okay, fair enough.
which technically alcohol is.
Yes, but smoking green stuff usually isn't.
Okay, in a lot of ways,
Usually.
immune to poison is actually probably more useful for a rogue than the fire resistance.
I thought alcohol was a base for a lot of like drugs and medicines, though.
I mean, like, if,
Yeah, but it just means that you can go, I'm taking a potion, the fact it's 50% alcohol isn't actually going to affect me.
but I mean, it's probably, in the real world,
What's
yes,
in the potion
drugs
will
and poisons probably count the same thing.
Yes.
In the D&D world,
Yeah.
it's possibly arguing.
Because you've got toxin and poison that can be considered different things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
So if it says poison damage, then
Yep. Then it doesn't do that.
okay. So yes, and looking at the hairpins,
yep.
the hairpins belong to the cat god, which is about protecting and saving and preserving.
Silver hairpin.
You think they can be used to remove things like curses.
I was about to say everything I'm not right now.
So if we give you a hairpin, it'll either save you or you'll die wonderful.
Where am I going to stick it? Do I have hair? I don't even know I have hair.
You do look human.
I do,
You
but
just got this
I've got to pick
undercoat.
my character.
So, in your character, you have hair?
Just bald shot in my head.
Well, I'll do that anyway, but you don't describe your hair?
I don't think I did.
Obviously, you shave it every day.
Apparently.
Cool. So we're going to put the hairpin in his pubes. There we go. That got him.
Yeah, I did give one of my Shadowrun characters a Prince Albert.
Yep.
Hello, Kitty, Prince Albert.
So how many of these hairpins are there?
There are 4.
4.
So I couldn't help it. It was funny. And then it got melted in place.
Oh!
Oh.
Ow! Time
He's
for a
a-
replacement.
He said the same thing, but he had that for the rest of the storyline.
Oh. So he didn't go and get
Well,
the cosmetic
no.
replacement.
No, the real problem was the fact that someone else owned it first.
It was a second-hand one.
That's right.
God. That's ew. Right. Dying of mummy rot is minor by comparison. Only faster.
Maybe mummy rot is the side effect of using a second outlet.
That would actually make some sense.
Okay, so you use one of the pins.
We shall. Okay.
Where am I using it?
No, look at this. You see, the classic monk definitely has hair.
Yes.
She
Yes,
definitely
yes.
has
Yes,
Okay.
so if you're going by that, the classic monk also has boobs.
hair. Well,
I
you haven't seen the full
will
effect of mummy's curse yet.
attempt the.
So don't call it mummy's curse for nothing. You know.
I will attempt the hairpin. I don't know where I'm sticking it, but I'm going to attempt it.
Well,
Armpit hair.
while you're holding it in your hand, the stone in it just crumbles to
I was
dust,
gonna say, you
and
should put it
the
either side
pin
of the ear.
itself feels very warm and then disappears.
Oh, sorry, broke it?
Well, but possibly also break the curse.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel? Looking at
Well,
the black scars on your arms.
No.
Good
Here's
point.
the way. Cure.
Good point. See if that
It does
works.
heal him.
You're healed.
Oh, okay.
You feel better. You may still have the tattoos.
Oh, I'm gonna have I'm gonna
Does
have
he still
awful
have the black
scarring.
marks?
Yes, he does, because they haven't been healed yet.
Maybe when you
So-
get back to maximum hit points, you'll be able to have a chance to actually.
Yes.
So was it webbing scars or what was it?
Well, if we're doing resting stuff, I'm just going to hit him with another couple of cures.
Well, and in fact,
I'll get
technically,
you up to full.
this happens while we're in the long rest.
Yes.
So technically, he'd cover full hit points by the time he gets to the morning.
Wait, we did this before the rope?
Well, no, because we were doing we were
during
examining these
it,
things. We
during
were
it.
tutored to look at these things during
Well,
the long rest.
Yeah.
That
Well.
was what we.
Yeah. Remember, it does take sleep. Well, we've done all this stuff before we went to sleep.
Well, the rest can take 10 hours total, so you've got a couple of hours to look at stuff
But
and
I
8
thought-
hours of sleep.
Oh, okay.
And so we'll make it 12
Because
hours.
they
since
didn't
the
know
last
they
one.
had that until they were doing their examination of stuff.
That's right.
Oh,
Because we were
okay.
doing the examination of stuff.
Yes.
Although, hang on.
Now.
We were saying we didn't actually realise it was cursed until the next morning.
Yes.
Mm.
So, yeah.
That's why I was
Yeah,
confused.
no, that's fair enough. Then you won't
Right.
have recovered fully in that point.
So So if the curse on of the spear turns out to be actually inimical, we've got a way of dealing with it.
You also find that no one else can touch the spear.
In what way? Can the hands not approach it, or do the hands go through it?
They go through it.
Oh.
Oh, it's ethereal. That's cool.
Well, no. It's
Which
like-
also implies I can't stab anybody with it.
Hey, try no.
Not so cool.
Try getting my armband.
You can touch it.
I can tap.
Can you pull it off?
I'll waggle it. I'm not going to try.
No. Just
Yeah, okay. Can I rotate it on his arm?
No.
Yeah.
His whole arm
Your
sort
arm
of turns with
moves.
it.
No.
Yes, it stuck to us.
Yeah. Well, no. It's more the idea of that whether or not artifacts often could only be held by a single person.
Yeah.
Artifacts normally can only be held by a single person.
Mm.
And they do have their own form of attunement.
Yeah.
So was the hairpin an artifact?
No,
No, it's
well,
just
it was a symbol. It was symbol
it's
of the
yeah.
cat god preserver, but
Okay.
it wasn't
It's
an artifact in itself.
the equivalent of a removed curse item.
So I can
Well,
safely
it is a
assume
remote
it is
curse
now.
Gone.
Got
rid of it.
One of
You
the
no longer have
four.
Rummy
One of the four is gone. You don't know.
And then so like I've noted down three hairpins now instead of 4. I had 4 and now I've noted 3. And I've noted the effect of we provide remove curse. It may do other stuff as
Alright,
well.
cool. So I now have these weird scars, but that's fine.
Well, you may still have the weird scars.
You still have the weird scars.
Yeah, so you have them right now, but they may go away when you actually get the chance to heal properly.
I'm
Yes.
happy with having weird scars. Alright.
And
Oh,
You
so
actually look more like the entropic Genasi than the water Genasi.
Oh.
You may not want
Because most of them have the
So
that
it's
sort
changed
of...
my entire skin
Not
colour
yet.
well, I
as
mean, it's
well.
more the fact
Not
that
yet.
because you have this scarring effect throughout your skin.
that. Yeah.
It is generally what the entropic Genasi look like.
Yeah.
They might
They are
be
corrupted
deliberately-
versions of all the other Genasi.
Yes. It's a sign of corruption. You may not want to keep that.
Yeah.
Well, if you have the option.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
If we
so
can get the
seemingly there was no other items or things like that people were looking at.
I don't think
I
so.
mean, you were talking about some blocks that you didn't know about yet. But
I didn't even
you
write
don't know
down where I
they
got
are,
them
so-
from, so
Yeah.
it's effectively I don't have them.
yes.
And so
I don't know how general the effect of that platinum key is, but getting us through 30 feet of jade is pretty impressive.
You could try another jade if you
Well,
found
I'd
another
say
jade.
the next step
Yeah.
is to confirm whether or not, it'll still let you go through with this armband,
Still let you go through.
and then B, whether it'll let others go through if they are probably just hand on the shoulder type stuff.
Yep.
So second person, do they get through?
They get through.
Okay. Third
Cool.
person, hand on the shoulder, see
Yep.
if you can get through, and then potentially see if you can let your spear through.
So who do you take first?
I would think that Tidal Rift was going to be the initial
Guinea pig?
second
Yes.
man.
Okay.
Okay, so you managed to make it through and
Well,
stand.
but to me, as far as going through, it would be more a case of step in, Tidal Rift can follow, great. We won't go all the way to the end.
Yep.
We can probably go, unless of course we want to go to the end and you wait there and then I can come back.
Yeah, I'm happy to wait on the other side.
Okay, so we'll go all the way through, confirm there's still no one on the other side.
Still no one on the other side.
Tidal Rift can wait a moment and I'll come back and collect Lou.
Llewell.
Clue.
Yes. Well,
Okay, you bring him through, and
yeah.
when he comes through to the other side, the stone behind you darkens.
So I guess you're not getting back to the library easily. Or if you do, bring a hammer.
It won't be that. It won't be this way.
And you do see that on this side, the stone itself looks as if it's been chipped and attacked, as if someone was trying to get through.
Mm-hmm. But
Like
jade
in the
is
last
really
week or so
freaking
with
hard.
and the chips and stuff are still on the ground here, as if they were
Yeah.
they tried to do it a week
Yeah.
or so ago.
And then you realise that Pebbles is still back in the other room.
Oh. His.
Well, if we're going to be doing sort of more than two, we'd have had everybody with us.
Would you have been the
If-
last person to go?
Hmm?
Would you have been the last person to go? You couldn't take two. You could only take one person with you each time.
Oh, okay. So did only allow one? Like if the third person had gone, he wouldn't.
No,
have made it.
that's the thing. He did ask about third person.
Well,
But
you,
we didn't actually end up trying the third person.
Well, he
Oh,
could have
yes.
been attached to your back and then stopped. And
You would have stopped at the end. You wouldn't have
Yeah.
gone in type stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So effectively though, it only allowed 2 clips of 2 people.
So no magic conga line. Okay.
Also, no ferrying everybody out,
Mm.
which means we'll have to find out how to get back into that room through
So
the other entrance.
your spear also now has a green glow to it.
Wait, what?
Like a jade type green.
Yeah.
No.
It stole the power of the stone.
Maybe it absorbs.
It was you going last. It was you going through that blocked it.
Maybe it absorbs power.
Maybe.
So then the question comes out of yes.
Yeah.
Would you have been last person, having a last look at the runes and images and things like that? If there were, like I said, obviously.
If he and the halfling were to go together, then the halfling would have been left
No,
behind.
but
anyway,
the idea being the fact that, okay, as players, or at least certainly in my case, I'd completely forgotten that we had another person still around in the party.
Yeah.
Obviously, party members wouldn't have forgotten about that.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is
It would have
that
been him and Pebbles,
that's
him
right.
and me.
Paladin went through, found he could get through, come back again.
Yep.
Took Tidal Rift on the idea of someone who is most able to look after themselves as a general rule. Come back, oh, he's still looking at the bloody wall.
Yep.
The next person. Okay,
Yeah.
drag him
Yep.
But oh.
in that sort of sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like in that
Okay.
sense, it wasn't necessarily 2 clicks maximum. It was as soon as you've gone through, the door
Yeah.
closes.
Yeah.
And of course, we didn't know that at the time.
Yeah,
but
I'm
Cool.
thinking very
It's not
seriously
unreasonable
of
if you were
tuning
alive.
to this spear.
You think you already are?
I was going to say, what do you mean you're thinking?
Yeah. Because I still want the rod of the pack keeper.
But it's not taking an attunement slot.
That's
It's a bonus.
yeah.
Better than
Not
the
not all artifacts do
I
that.
was going to say, better than the
No.
artifact that Dimitri ended up with.
So, well, in which case I'm going to have a bit of a think at the speed to see if I can work out what it does.
Well, it's not a spear to start with.
Well, no, yes.
We already know
It's a wizard's staff of some kind.
Well, no. It's a magical staff of some kind.
Yes.
It's a staff of magic. Exactly
staff
what
of magic.
magic is.
Exactly.
You
may well find that it works just as well with warlock style magic.
Well, it's a spear of an arcanist. Sorry, it's a staff of an arcanist with a spear point.
Well, no, it's a
I'm
staff
an
for God.
arcanist.
It's a staff for God.
Yeah.
You can do what I like.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm a god-powered arcanist, so hey, why not?
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so yes, so having got everyone through, we now found that for whatever reason, the passage back is now blocked.
Mm-hmm.
It is not unreasonable to assume that, hang on, the staff that was a sort of black metallic type stuff that is now gone green, while the green jade has gone black.
Or darker.
But yes,
But
your passage has been
And you did feel the color shift as you was walking through it,
right. Okay.
and it kept becoming harder and harder to walk through until you came out the other end.
It's a good thing it didn't take the necklace of Datsun off me.
So it absorbed the ability to be walked through.
So maybe it stole the key's power.
Stolen key.
So yeah, does the key feel that
So does that mean if you then touched it
like a-
on
the
a
key
wall,
doesn't
you could
feel
walk
any
through
different.
said wall?
Maybe.
Well, having
Only
got everyone
one going.
through, I will
No,
just
only one
confirm
going, I
that.
think.
Hang on,
Oh.
You can touch the key against the door.
and it doesn't go through now. Yes. So, I guess we're not going back that way right now. And as I say, if you decide you want to go back through there, bring a sledgehammer.
On the bright side, you have a crayfish souvenir.
But does it still look like you're saying it's gone darker?
Maybe you
Is
could
it actually
wear it as a
still
hat.
jade? Apparently,
Looks more obsidian.
obsidian. Hey, that could be handy for making more weapons.
Sorry, what's the obsidian?
Instead of being a jade block now, it's an obsidian block.
Wow.
So yeah, don't worry about it.
Seriously, wow.
Don't worry about it. I'll bring the clan back for more weapons.
I feel like we don't have the inventory space to start mining this.
Yeah.
Yes. If they don't believe me, I'll tell them it's a religious quest with the headdress on.
Yes. Well, the jade would have been seriously worth it. Even the amount of work it would have taken. 1,000 tons of jade. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so this passageway, I will have a look at these tracks again to see if I can determine if they're
Looks
gone,
like someone had spent maybe a week here.
right before they then found the magical means to jump from one side to the other.
Were there, what's it called? Actually, can I roll survival?
Yeah.
To try and see if there's any kind of leftover, say, bonfire markings or that kind of thing. Never mind. That's a 5.
You rolled a 1.
No.
No.
But you got it.
Okay, so looking at it, you shuffle everything around while you're looking at all the markings, and realise you've just shuffled everything over all the markings.
That's right. You just
I'm helping.
tell me about it. Okay.
Hey, look, this is in. Oops. Sorry.
That wasn't important, was it?
Not anymore. Okay, I'll head off down the passageway a bit and see what's down the way.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's only one exit out of here, right?
Well, I said at this stage, it's
Is
just
anyone else going to have a look in that spot before you take off?
Well, I said I was searching around before I moved off. So.
Yeah, I'll have a look. See
Okay.
if there's anything there.
Give me a investigate roll with disadvantage due to the messing up of the area.
Yes.
I said I was looking around before he was.
He started interrupting it. You were having to go and get other people, remember? He had time looking before you got there.
Sorry?
He had time to look before you got back.
Sure, that's right, he got left behind, yeah.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I managed to turn my 19 into a 4, and so therefore I get 7.
So what did you get with your disadvantage, Paul?
9?
9. Apparently you did the best out of everyone.
Yeah. Still sucky,
Yeah.
but still.
And
With disadvantages in that bad.
you managed to pick up a holy symbol of Atsantiotl.
Hum. Okay.
That
Even
is not
Even
look
I
as
know
if
that's
it-
not necessarily somebody we want to go get their achieve. We don't want their goals to be achieved.
and it looks as if it was of the same antiquity of the spear.
Okay.
So did these guys leave it here, or was it?
It may have been dropped.
Huh.
It may have been part of what brought them to this place to find it.
So they're gathering.
It has a torn leather strap attached to it. That's just long enough to tie around a scroll.
They're seeking
So
these
it was
kind
on
of
a
artifacts.
scroll, and they tore it off to open the scroll,
Or it fell off.
or it fell off.
And so, who is Axolotl?
He's the corruptor.
Your character knows of him as well because he's the one who corrupted Daniel Tiger Stripes,
Right.
the Tiger Clan
Yep.
god,
Mm.
and he is the main enemy of Atruaghin.
Yeah.
So, yes, certainly a potential source of corruption in the temple.
Isn't he the one who makes the entropic?
He's entropic, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he makes the
Atruaghin, icky thing.
Yeah. Entropic ones.
Okay. I will continue down the passageway at this stage to
What does
see
this
which way we can
concerning?
go.
Okay, so you continue down the passageways. You come round a bend and find yourself in a room. What is everyone's passive perception?
Line 16.
12.
Yeah.
Who's it? 14.
Now, I guess actually something that could be interesting right now is, and possibly we've already been thinking about it, you had light source, didn't we?
Yes.
Because we were using
Magical
one
light
of the
sources.
elks, one of the elks provided light source before, weren't they?
But his spear provides a brilliant green light source.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's that bright.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not stealthing anytime soon.
No,
So
I'll just hide it behind me.
well,
It doesn't
so-
create any shadows.
Yes. By the way, I'm presuming this is a short spear, not a particularly long
Oh,
spear.
it's a long. It is longer than you are.
I realise that. A short, well, a shortish spear. I'm thinking like 6 or 7 feet rather than 10.
I'd probably put it at about the 7 foot tall spear.
Yeah, a one-headed spear.
7 foot
But the
tall.
problem, remember, it's not actually a spear.
I
So
know.
It's more of a staff.
It's a
so-
7-foot staff.
And you are noticing that the light that it's shedding is not casting shadows with any of your friends.
Oh, is it casting shadows for me?
No.
Right. Okay.
It's almost long enough to be not touching that pole.
So at the moment you can't.
So I guess that means that, well, so we've got enough light without anyone carrying light except for you, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, well, it means that Parody doesn't need to actually carry a torch while he goes ahead.
No.
So,
And,
Okay.
and it also means that I can be behind you and you're not looking into shadow.
yes. Or that's right, I'm not actually casting my own shadow ahead of me.
Exactly.
So. Okay, so yeah, so my passive perception was 16.
And when he goes around the corner, you're clearly seeing the light as if it's gone right through the rock.
So yeah, so
It's just-
it's light, but
It's covering a radius rather than an area.
well, no, yes, it's got
It just
got a
glowing
radius that it emits light to,
Yes.
and anything else, nothing is real to it.
Yes.
So therefore, it goes through anything.
You find it very disturbing.
Yeah. Hi, this staff is more real than rock. Right.
And more real than the wielder.
Yes.
Okay, so you
So with passive perception 16, I don't know if the others.
and you're the only one who notices as you walk into a chamber that there are some spikes in the wall are actually rungs of a ladder going up to a hatch in the ceiling, and the passageway continues on.
Okay. So the passageway continues on as long as the light goes.
It does, yes.
Okay, but this appears to be just a ladder to the roof of this particularly.
The spiky ladder.
Well, I'm assuming basically
The
probably
edge bits
rusted
of the ladder.
rungs
Oh,
that have worked
okay.
off type.
Yeah.
What I'd be thinking, what I'm imagining in my head. So
Yes.
Yeah, they look like rusted rungs to you,
Right.
but they look like spikes for everyone else.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And Paul, give me a perception roll. You get a free perception roll.
It's almost useful.
So does that mean we lost a party member but gained a
Yeah.
spear?
well, we lost two
party
party members.
Yeah.
So it's better.
Okay.
Balances out.
You feel a slight
What?
tug on your spear.
And an armband.
Okay.
Because remember, it
Is
looked
it
at
trying
me.
to
So
point at
therefore,
something,
it
or is
must
it just
be
trying to go in a
expensive.
direction?
You're not
enough.
sure. You sort of just looked at the
Google
spear
eyes.
and it's no longer moving.
Yeah, which direction did it pull in though?
You couldn't tell. That's the perception roll.
Oh. My spear seems to think it wants to go in a direction, but I can't tell which one. It's being a bit obtuse.
Well,
Uh,
I'm considering the passageway goes on as far as I can see at the moment. I will have stopped at the thing, thinking, okay, how hard it's going to be to climb up there and have a quick look at the. So there seems to be a trapdoor above us. I think it's probably worth checking it out just to see what's
Well,
there first of all.
we can assume your spear either wants to go ahead or up. Or it might go behind, I don't know.
Well,
It wants to go in a direction.
I was going to say,
That much we figured out.
considering what we understand of the spear's perception of reality, it could have gone through the wall.
Yeah, that's
True. That's true.
Look at all that treasure that I can see that you can't. Oh, thank you, spear.
Well, quick, duck! You need to go down 6 feet.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to have a quick look around?
Sorry?
You want to have a quick look around before going up?
Well, like I say, I'm basically going to be looking at the rungs initially also as part of this. Hang on, are they going to hold weight and stuff like that?
Give me an investigation roll while you're having a quick look
Process.
around.
10.
10. Anyone else going to help you? Can
Oh,
have a
we're
look around?
assisting?
So I get advantage on it?
Is this
You get
perception?
advantage on it if someone's helping you.
12.
Okay,
I'm
so
not good.
While I'm looking at my staff
suspect
going,
that
what?
Has anyone got better than +3 on their investigation?
Not really.
So,
while you're looking at your staff, give me an insight roll.
No,
What'd you get?
under 10.
Under 10.
Yeah.
You feel yourself being berated by the
I
staff.
was going to say, the staff thinking, man,
There are absolutely no words whatsoever, but you feel that the staff is disappointed in
That's
you.
right, the staff thinking, man, did I choose badly?
I'm sorry, I've only had you for half an hour.
Just intense waves of disappointment passing through your brain.
Get up. I'm sorry. Look, so you guys are investigating things, and I'm apologising to my staff.
I'm surprised we're able to investigate things right now.
Okay, so that looks like the rungs will hold you,
Okay.
but it does look as if they've taken some damage recently.
Someone else tried to climb it,
Okay.
possibly successfully.
So,
I will. So I'm assuming it's like 10-foot up ceiling type stuff, is it? We're
Yep.
talking? So,
Can we inspect the rungs?
well,
okay, so he's already investigated the rungs. If you want to try to take another look at it while he's doing something else, you can.
Oh, I was just going to look for blood on the rungs or something.
Okay, give me another You can do an investigation roll of your own at this point.
Alright. It's not insight, is it? It's investigation. So
Investigation.
that would be 12. No, 11.
11. No real blood there.
Okay, cool.
well, considering it's only 10 foot up, can I get Tidal Rex to effectively put back against the wall? I'll aim to put weight on the rungs, but also effectively having some of the weight on Tidal Rex to actually then reduce any effect on the rung in that sort of sense.
Okay,
And
so
like I say, up until get to shoulder height. that might get
while
enough.
that's happening, I'll give Luell an investigate roll.
Okay.
Or give the spear an investigate roll.
Plus.
And have a tell the one there.
Can't tell which one's playing right now.
Well,
16 this time.
one
16. So while you're apologising to the spear, you realise that the spear is pointing directly at a wall,
I will walk
which
in that
has got
direction.
this outline just appearing at it as the apparently the spear was trying to tell you something.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm walking towards a wall, which to you guys may be blank. I don't know.
Well, I'm.
Well, I've got
otherwise
one on my
occupied
shoulders
by-
currently,
Okay.
so-
And you're seeing one on top of the other shoulders, and the halfling going, "This is going to end badly."
He's not wrong.
Well, you're looking away from the wall. So
Yes.
if he's pointing to the other side of the corridor, you obviously
Yeah.
seeing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Just don't walk away from him at the time. Just give me warning.
It could be worse. You could be holding him up.
Mm.
Well, no, okay.
So what's
If necessary, the rungs hopefully hold me up.
what's
Okay,
with the wall?
so you go investigate the door.
Yes, I do.
Okay, as you touch it, it just pushes open.
What?
I found a door.
Oh.
Well, actually, the spear found a door, and I'm quite happy with the outcome.
Okay, well, are we going to go use
You
Right.
do
So-
notice that you can actually wave the spear through the wall. It's quite
I was
disturbing.
expecting, yeah.
You haven't actually managed to put the spear on anything.
I also can't put it down for the same reason.
Oddly though, it was resting on the plinth apparently.
It was. But once I picked it up,
Obviously, it didn't attune to the centaur mummy.
possibly not.
Yeah, okay, so he's walking through a wall and I'm investigating this trapdoor in the ceiling, or the
Okay.
apparent trapdoor in the ceiling.
It seems to have like a pull release. You pull it, it opens.
Okay, I will see if I can have a look to see if there's any evidence of cracks upon
So
the...
it will basically drop open as soon as you pull it.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's no cracks, it's all good.
Okay.
As I pull it.
As you pull it,
Yeah, well, having rolled a 1 on the perception roll... for the
it will
cracks.
give Tidal an insight roll.
something I actually have,
Hmm.
but a roll I don't want.
A 1.
No, that's a 13.
It's a 13. You think there's a problem with Bink? And a whirlwind just starts in that area right underneath it.
Where I'm standing.
Right where you are standing, where Jeremy's standing, you think that trapdoor held a whirlwind in place.
It's possibly what caused the damage to the line when someone else pulled it previously. So-
And now there's 3 of you who are going to have to make strength checks.
Oh, that's no
Oh,
problem.
With
We're all-
disadvantage.
Right.
Luell is currently stepped out of the room.
We're all such He-Mans.
Oh, never
well,
mind.
if you aid each other,
Well, one's standing on the other shoulder, so they're not particularly
not,
able
not a lot
to.
of aid there.
Right.
Not really. It's more like incessant.
So, what did
screaming.
Tidal get for his roll?
4.
4. Okay.
Weakling.
So, Tidal lets go of the wall, meaning that that gives Prayer disadvantage because your support has
Get it.
let
I thought I
go.
had disadvantage.
Oh yeah,
I
sorry.
already gave myself disadvantage.
Okay, so yes, you both find yourself flying around the room. Both of you roll
When you
3d6.
say around the room, we're still talking a 10-foot corridor, are we?
It opened up into about a 20-foot by 20-foot room with lines either side, and it was in the very center above it. It was a small room on the corridor, in the middle of the 2 passageways.
Okay, I'm not really picturing what's happening there, but yep, okay.
So I rolled a 9. I imagine I smacked into something.
What was
You
it, 3d6?
3d6, yes.
I hope
You know, you haven't got a hit point behind.
Actually, it was a
That
10-foot by 15-foot room off 5-foot passageways.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
Still not really picturing it, but yep. 11. Okay, 11 damage.
11 piercing damage.
Okay, and I
Piercing damage.
9.
Yeah.
We ran into the lungs, did we?
Yep.
Oof, harsh.
That's how they broke the first time.
But hey,
I thought so.
at least I won't
I
get
was
tetanus.
expecting that.
I won't get tetanus.
At least you
Run
won't.
my lung. Give me the poison.
Tetanus is a disease.
Don't mind me, I'm just gathering everything under the sun right now.
Okay, it's a disease that poisons you, so you could get tetanus, but it won't kill you.
Okay, so as
I
you,
already had that. It was called mummy rot, remember?
as you step into the room, you see that the walls are painted flat black, while the floor is inlaid with a colourful mosaic of the Azcan gods in all their glory.
Right.
Uh,
So it was made by Nazcan Goth.
No, they just started with a base of obsidian
Yeah.
and then
And-
carved the
and
gods
just-
into it.
Yes.
And following that passageway leads you to a curtain of shells. Of animals you've never seen.
Yeah.
And
species you've never seen?
well, animals that haven't been around for a couple of thousand years.
What a kind of Druid's dead.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
And you see what appears to be a chalky form of a person seated on a stone throne, with its surface carved to depict feathers. The person is wearing a feathered headdress and robes. Lying across its lap in an open palm is a scepter of gold and silver, with an eagle head crafted on one end and talons of a bird holding a blazing sun on the other.
You're gathering scepters and spears. You're not going to have hands left.
All right.
And you sort of hear a bit of a whistling noise and then quiet.
Making like the whistling of the
these
whirlwind.
guys.
Yeah.
Well, there might have been a few bangs clank. Ah!
Well, the door pretty much shuts not long
Yeah,
after you
yeah,
walk
yeah.
through, so he hears the whistling of you opening it, but that's it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So,
So what we find out is that we get blown around by this whirlwind, get bashed around a bit, and again, a blue claw right away.
but you still got his light. You just don't know where he is.
Yeah, and you can't tell where it's coming from. So I'm not that far away.
Well, we don't know we don't actually know what the range of the light was yet.
Well,
Although we saw how far down the corridor it didn't go.
Yeah.
It goes about 60 feet.
There you go.
Okay. Wow.
So yes,
No dim light, no anything. It just goes out 60 feet and stops.
you're within 60 feet in some direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could be up.
As far as we know, he got blown away or he went through the wall.
Yes.
We have no idea.
And all the symbology of this says that this is probably the high priest of the sun god. Of the Azcan people.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go back and get these guys.
That's what you think.
Yeah, I know. Well,
You turn
I'm gonna go
around
back- I'm going
and
to turn around to go back to where these guys.
everything is black. That's not the floor.
Even under a green light.
Even under a green light, yes.
Yeah.
All the walls here have been blacked out.
And I'm presuming the door's now closed.
Yes.
Yeah. I attempt to retrace my steps to where I entered the room.
You can tell exactly where you entered the room. There's just everything's black and there's no. You can stick your spear all the way through.
Are they going to see the point come through, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, actually, we
Well, now you know where I am.
We'll grab it, except we can't touch it.
Okay, so in the other room while you're having a look around, you guys are still spinning around. Please give me a. Well, what would you like to do while you're flying around?
Well, as I say, we're certainly attempting the for me, it'll be the. I will try and grab onto the rungs and stop being spun around, and otherwise get out of the whirlwind effect.
Okay,
So-
give me a. I will make it a dexterity saving throw. What would you like to do, Stefan? A 1?
Well,
2. So 1 on the straight check and then 2 on the.
when we opened
Oh no,
this
no, it was
trap
5 on the
door,
straight check.
this thing came
So
down.
I guess
Is that correct?
it gives me 8 for the dexterity save.
So basically, a whirlwind just dropped to the bottom and started spinning around the room.
Oh, so it dropped to the bottom. So if we close that, does that mean it's going to stop or it's going to be stuck in here?
You're not sure.
Hmm.
Do you want to do a strength check to grab onto the rungs?
Because I have to grab into the rungs before I can actually get to the trapdoor, don't
Yeah.
I?
Because you're spinning around the room.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll try a strength check to try and grab onto the rungs. Oh, something good for once. That's...
It's a 19, doesn't it?
Yeah, 19.
Okay, you managed to grab a rung that doesn't break.
Oh, good. Excellent.
And
No, strength check for the second one you want to
and hand hold all the way up to the top and kick the hatch shut.
Yes, please.
And then the whirlwind stops, and you get to make a dexterity roll.
Is this anything in particular?
Dexterity
Acrobatics
saving throw.
or-
To
Oh,
stop
saving.
falling down.
Okay.
Like that,
Let's say
Because the pool is no longer there.
18.
18, and you manage to right yourself before you slip off the rungs.
Okay.
Jeremy, you take another 3d6.
Ooh.
Nice.
Almost
rolled
max
well.
damage.
14.
So you take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as you bounce around the room and suddenly come to a stop as the air cuts out.
25.
You feel very sore right now. Are you awake?
Yeah.
I'm still awake, yes.
You need some healing.
Heavily battered, but
Yes. And I'm on
where'd
the
that, where'd that
other side.
healer go?
So
Outside the
you
door.
see Pebbles not moving.
Oh, shit.
We'll go over and attempt to...
Apparently he had run into quite a few rungs critically.
Right.
How?
Oh, as in.
And then kept bouncing around the room while he was out of it.
So
So he's KO, is he?
okay, so currently he's unconscious.
Currently he's not breathing.
Are we talking unconscious? Or are we talking he's KO dead?
Oh, because he continued to be battered around and therefore took an automatic death saves.
Oh. Maybe we should have tied him down first.
You didn't know because you were all flying around.
So,
And then the final one dropping onto the ground when everything shut off.
This is awkward.
so
Losing a party member to a whirlwind trap.
when he's not there.
Well,
When he's not there.
no, they shouldn't get dead just because they're not here.
Well, he was not going to come back.
Oh, okay, right.
Ah.
If he does come back, he makes a miraculous recovery.
Because
But
I
at the
was gonna
moment, we've got somebody who's very unconscious.
Was he religious?
we do have like some healing potions available if it was a case of just being unconscious. But okay, yes, so he's dead.
He was a halfling?
Halfling, yeah.
Halfling, yes. Halfling wizard. He's
No.
a
Was he
wizard.
religious in any way?
Yes, he was. He didn't tell anyone.
Oh, he didn't tell anyone.
No.
Okay, can we search him for any kind of holy symbol or something that...
He has a book. He worshipped that every day.
I guess we should
yeah,
return this to his
no.
people?
Wizards book,
Or
different thing.
particularly his other equipment and belongings and bits and pieces.
Hmm.
Or
Yeah.
the bits and pieces that are still there when we get to his people.
I
Yes.
guess. I feel like we should at least bring something back to his
Well,
people.
so,
Yeah.
certainly, yes. I deliberately grabbed Swift Elk and Elk of the, whatever her name was. I've got their belongings,
Okay.
as well as their dust.
Please don't smoke them.
Their actual equipment.
Won't smoke all that well.
No,
So
I don't trust this guy.
Whether there's anything that people would want to actually keep of people's equipment type stuff, different question. So,
I don't want to keep any of it. I think Tyler would want to. He just wants to make sure that there's something he can at least dedicate either to return to their people or...
it's kind of good luck.
Nah, I think Tidal tries not
Cloak of
to...
protection. Apparently not protective enough. Berserker axe. That's something worthwhile.
Well, the cloak of protection was worthwhile for as long as it lasted.
Right, yes. Again, we shall aim to gather up the belongings. Hopefully we're out of here soon, so at least we can potentially at least take the body with us for the time being to see where we're going.
Yeah.
I think if we read the T's and C's of Cloak of Protection, it doesn't cover being slapped whirlwinded into rungs.
Yes. I'm actually I'm thinking at the moment that whoever was doing stuff in here, whoever's up at the top of that ladder, wherever they are, is what we need to deal with.
Well, did either of us actually get to see what was in the room beyond the trapdoor?
A rune.
There was a room.
A rune.
A rune, right. So there was nothing, there was no space up in there, it was a trap door.
Right.
As in the,
So the up is not.
It was
Trapdoor
a-
opens, runes
there was
there,
that's right, and a rune that caused a gust of wind type effect.
Right,
or
so it's
something.
meant to look like a escape, and it's not.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
It drops to an
Which
area
is,
when
which is
you're
why
hit.
the spear pointed that way as opposed to that way. Apparently.
And then you see this spear sticking out the side of a wall.
Is that supposed to be there?
You know whose spear it is.
Why is it moving?
It just spears back into the wall.
So, I will touch the wall near the spear.
Okay, apparently you find a solid surface.
Fair enough. So,
So apparently, Mr. Spear has gone through this wall.
I will knock on the door, knock on the wall.
Give me
and
an
say,
investigation
Cluel,
roll.
Cluel, are you there? Bloody hell! Give me another 17 rolls, and I should be there.
It's okay.
1, 2, 3 for my last 3 rolls.
I rolled for you, and I rolled a 1.
How nice.
So
That's
my,
why I said I'll let you roll.
So my investigate roll gets up to 6.
So, Stefan,
Okay.
would you like to do a roll as well?
Sure, what am I using?
Investigation.
Yes, I'm going to check out the floor
Hmm.
while waiting.
No.
Okay, I am deliberately knocking,
And, yeah, and
also
also trying to check the
and
wall.
calling out for Cluel.
You've got a 10.
Okay, with a 10, you managed to actually find a part of the wall that just pushes inwards.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And you see Luell just looking down at the floor and looks up at the noise of the whoosh as the door swings
Oh,
open
good, we
silently.
found it. Brilliant.
Well,
Impossible.
semi-silently.
It's basically impossible to find from inside.
I don't want to close it.
I would put something in the way.
Oh.
So got somebody's old boot or something.
Hang on.
I feel like this would crush
We've got somebody's old body to kick out.
You leave the body there. Okay, normally it would just seem to push shut no matter what you put there, but because you used the body, I'll leave it open.
No. I was planning on actually. Penedy was going to stay in the doorway.
This is not the burial I was expecting.
Okay. Penedy will be staying in the doorway at this stage.
Okay, so I think,
Yeah,
considering
probably.
it is 10 to 11,
Yep.
we might call it a stop there. Jeremy will be away for the next 2 sessions.
Which is why I'm staying in the doorway.
Okay.
And,
Right.
holding the door for you. Without
Do let me
necessarily
eat
And
negotiating
so
further.
when Jeremy comes back, you will at least be a level higher.
Okay, assuming I'm alive.
So because you spent 2 entire sessions holding a door open, you gained a level. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, he got to stand still and think a lot.
I got to
Okay.
reflect upon my recent experiences and